Welcome back to Splice Splatter, the film podcast where classic horror.
It's modern gore.
We're your hosts. I'm Siena.
And I'm Al. I feel like we always do a pause. We never know.
Yeah.
Here we are. I feel like we've barely had even time off mic to talk. I forgot to
I
show
know.
you for our pairing. I am wearing.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
god! I got caught on my mic. I am wearing my.
Yes! The Tetsuo shirt!
Yes.
That is so good. We also absolutely need to cover Tetsuo Iron Man sometime on the podcast.
I was gonna say, like, it's not the one for today, but speaking of like J horror and covering J horror, I got this by an artist called Spectral Youth at Morgan Crypt. He does amazing merch, and I bought
They're
this
so good.
to hold me accountable to watch it. And I think we absolutely need to
Yes.
do it on the podcast. So I forgot I wore this for you.
Oh
For
my
the
God, I
podcast
love
episode.
this. I love this.
Totally
Well,
forgot.
You probably can't see a whole lot of it, but I did try to do a white and leather combo in honor of Asami. I unfortunately didn't have the whole nurse outfit to do, but it was as close as I could get.
I mean, not to get too far ahead, because I know you go second, but that outfit will forever live in my brain as one of the best outfits I've seen on screen.
I'm so glad to hear that because I will tell you, as I was rewatching last night, I had like a moment of horror to myself where it was like, God, once you've seen Audition, you understand the audition of it all. But before you've seen Audition, as you're watching Audition and you're getting to like about minute 55 of Audition, you're like, Siena, why the fuck did you pick this fucking movie? This isn't a horror movie. And I like had this moment of horror where I was like, what if Al misses seeing the bag move and the whole experience is ruined?
Oh, no, I was gonna say, yeah, I was locked in immediately. I did
Good.
freak out. I thought I put on, because I was like, I rented it, and then I was like, I thought I bought the wrong one, because I was like, it's a 2000, and I was like, it's not 2000, it's 1999. There is a movie called The Audition from 2000, and I was like, oh my God, and I panicked that I watched. I put on the wrong thing, because again, it's not like upfront horror in your face.
Right.
For a
But
while.
had you rented the right thing?
I did.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I think the Audition, it is not J horror. I think it's like oh my God.
Thank God. That would be very confusing.
Yeah. It's very like American Hollywood actors in it, so there's no confusing the two.
Great.
At all. But I did have a slight panic there for a second.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Well, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but I'm extremely relieved to hear that. That at least it'll help me sit through until my half.
It's gonna be...
What are you covering?
So I'm doing, The Grudge, which we kind of talked about like last week. There is the original Ju-on from 2002. There's the Grudge American US remake from 2004. So that's what I'm covering. I tried so hard this week because we kind of moved up our recording schedule, and I tried so hard today to fit in rewatching Ju-on, because I had watched that after seeing the original like years later in college. I think I like circled back to it, and it's been so long that I feel like, and then watching The Grudge, I'm just like, my brain needed a refresher, and I didn't get around to it. So everyone shame me. It's fine.
But you have seen it, because one of my like immediate thoughts watching it was, I'm so curious what the original was like, because the remake is so much about the experience of being like a stranger in a strange land and not speaking the language. And I was like, I'm so curious if like what the premise is in the original.
Yeah, I'll talk about the differences a little bit. It definitely was more experimental. And a little less linear and like clean. Like, this is definitely a very like polished movie. Spoiler alert, there is nothing on this movie.
No,
I was expecting a lot. This was one where, like, again, we've been so good at checking. I've had such robust notes. And I went to the Wikipedia page and was very disappointed, especially with the material gets bogged down, I think, because there's also like a 2020 remake. There's a million movies in the Ju-on. There's a lot of grudges. It's just like there's so much, and there's just like there's not a lot of media. I did find an article with the director. There is a very tiny, well done, which I wish it was longer. There is a tiny featurette from the DVD, at least from what I found online. And it was done really well for 2004. And I like it was put together in not the like choppy bits that we normally see from the
Right.
2000s. So
Right.
I was disappointed that I only had bits of information because they did a really good job with
No.
the
Oh,
featurette.
that's such a shame. Man,
But
I also like because it's such an iconic series and because the American cast is so stacked, I assumed that
mhm.
there would be like tons. I'm so
It's
sorry because I
oh,
checked
it
for Audition. I was worried that there wouldn't be enough on
how
that, which
funny.
would make sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Was there a robust
I've got
amount for
plenty.
you?
I have
Okay, good. I
plenty.
also am very excited to talk about Audition, and
I'm so
like you kind
glad.
of sent me a little like text over the
I
week
gave you a
too. So
hint.
yeah,
Yeah.
a little hint. So I'm like I kind of was like, like Siena and Audition will carry this episode, and I do have some
We've
fun nuggets though. So
love. Yeah, I think it's like a maybe we can think of it as like the appetizer to the
it
main
is. It's
course of
definitely some tiny little wriggling hairs and fingers of
and
appetizers
tongues
to
perhaps.
yeah, little tongues. Oh my god, I love the tongue. I love a wriggling
Yay.
tongue. Why didn't I
It's
say
so
that?
good. It's so yeah. I would love to see that shot out of context, just like
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
loop.
There's so
Like
many just like the holiday fireplace loops on YouTube, but it's
yes.
just
Oh my
the
god, just
wriggling
the wriggling
tongue.
tongue from Audition. Now that is my comfort place.
Should we start making those for our YouTube
Oh
channel? Do you
my
guys
god.
want
Weigh
that? I
in
think
is
yes. That would have been what I was watching while I was doing my notes for the
oh
Grudge. I
my
would have
god, I
had that on loop.
love that. Yes, soothing, right?
Just screams in the background.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
Kitty, kitty,
gosh.
kitty, kitty,
Is
kitty, kitty, kitty.
yeah. Oh
Mm.
my god. I don't this is an instance where I just wish you were going first. But then maybe for the best, we can save the second one for best. So
And I think it's again like to shall I spoil what my text was?
I think so. I don't know.
Because I
Well,
think it's nah,
I feel like there's a point where
excellent.
I kind of have a tie-in,
Okay,
and
cool.
I will say if
Fantastic.
you can remember it to say that, maybe we'll save it because I feel like it
Great.
is kind of fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Would you like me to tee us up with a tee up tid?
Yes, please.
Okay, because I brought you my absolute grossest tidbit
Oh my god, this
because
is great.
I'm so disgusted by the mere thought of it that I thought that if I had to hold it throughout my episode, I would be unable to continue. So this is
Oh
like
my
not even
gosh.
because it's the best way to lead in, it's because I need this. I need to not have this on my
Oh
plate
no.
anymore.
Oh no.
Mm,
Okay. Oh
okay,
no. Oh no. Okay.
so you know, in the final reel of the film, as Asami, the tongueless man comes out of the bag,
Oh
and
god, you're gonna
Asami
talk.
is feeding
Uh-huh.
him,
Yes. Oh my god.
that's her actual vomit. Takashi
I don't
Miike
know if
said, and I quote, "She's a
oh
real method actress, you might say."
Sienna,
I know.
when I tell you I gagged, like
Yeah.
I started like laughing and then like kind of started to get sick. Trav
Yeah.
was laughing at me
Trav
so
says
hard.
I'm leaving.
I was gagging so hard I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, no,
I couldn't watch it. My head was in I was like pissed off at how sick that was. It reminded me of Jackass, and I actually can't. I'm so happy I didn't know that watching it.
Yeah, it makes it so much worse.
I don't even know how to react to this information.
I thought
I don't know how to
yeah,
react to that.
I was like genuinely concerned that reading that out loud with the image fresh in my mind was going to make me dry heave on camera, and I'm like still like trying a little bit to keep that from
Oh yeah.
happening.
Yeah. My brain I think blocked it out. Oh, I'm starting to
Yep. Yeah.
I
Especially
have
because that actor really goes into it with the
oh,
eating.
Sienna.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Sienna,
This is
please
why I had to
don't.
get it out at the
Please
beginning.
don't. I was gonna say I actually blocked out how hard, and I like.
Yep.
I don't know if this is like TMI, and I'm not saying it to be like.
We're
I don't have like a gag reflex over a lot of things. Like a lot of things don't like gross me out. Belly buttons do, babies do.
yeah, it's the specific things.
And anything like vomit related. I actually almost threw up myself because I was gagging so hard. I wasn't even watching it, but then like the image of it. Oh God, you're making me like sick.
so sorry.
I feel like I didn't have a reaction to you at first, but now like my body's slowly starting to sweat.
I genuinely, I had to, as I was watching the scene, because I knew it this time, I didn't know it before. I had to watch with like a hand held up over the bowl so that I couldn't see it.
I don't.
It was the only way I could get through.
I was gonna say, is there an option to just like skip that scene? That's when I need the DVD and I can skip the chapter because I don't actually think I could never watch that part again. That specific part only.
Yes. Yeah. I need like the Eternal Sunshine procedure for just that information.
Oh God, you made me. I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, maybe the Grudge can be a little palate cleanser in between that information in your film.
Like if you thought you were so excited for Audition, let's gross you out from it.
Horrifying. Oh my God. Like, listen, I know there's people out there that would like pay for that. You know,
but
for everything.
I will say, you know, it's a translation. Takashi Miike has a very strong sense of humor and like makes a lot of jokes and then it's like, I'm just kidding. So like there's a chance that he just left out a I'm just kidding, but like like I could see it being something like that if that helps us to get through it. But like but he said that and he did not say that he was joking. So
I'm gonna say that little man is a little funny sicko.
He is. He's a little funny sicko.
I have to
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. As soon as you said the scene where the man, I was like, no, I forgot about that. Everything else in it was perfect. Perfect.
It's amazing. Like the first time I watched it, it was the torture scene that really got me. The second time it was that. I was like, oh my, I blocked it out. I did. Anyway, there's your tee up tid or tee down tid.
Yeah, that was a tee down for sure. Speaking of reactions, have you seen The Grudge before, or like what was your watch?
No, I haven't seen Ju-on. I hadn't seen The Grudge. And also like, you know, I love J-horror, and I love, as much as I love Audition, and I think it is maybe the best of its bunch, I am, as a person, tend to be extra scared by a good supernatural J-horror. And so like anything about like an evil house, I eat that shit up. I live for an evil house. I will say the last 15 minutes when you start seeing the characters more was a little like, it lost me a little bit, not because the look was bad, just because like I don't know. I feel like what you can imagine is always scarier than the reality, and I was like, "Oh, it's a little boy, okay." But
he looks just like a little cherub.
I know, like he looks very sweet.
Yeah.
But like I had a lot of jump scares in this actually, and especially the first reveal of like the peeling the tape off the door. I was like, oh God, that really got me.
Yeah. This one did a really good job. Like I remember, I'm pretty sure I saw this one in theaters. I know I immediately like rented it or bought it or something like that right after. The jump scares on this is like what I remember so viscerally.
Yeah.
It was, I feel like that's what a lot of people talked about with this. And as we'll talk about its reception a little bit, kind of why people reacted the way they did to it. So,
oh, I'm excited to hear, because I know absolutely nothing about the critical reception of it.
Oh, bummer. Damn.
Oh no. Is it bad?
Oh no. I'm reception. I thought you meant of Audition.
No, I know plenty about the reception of Audition. Okay.
Not
good,
bad.
Good.
Very, very, very excited to share. So
excellent. Good.
Should we jump in? I have
Let's dive
too many
in.
taglines.
Amazing.
We're gonna kind of like, I don't know. They did nothing for me this time around, so I'm just gonna the hits. I'll just read them.
Selected.
So we have it never gives, it never forgets. I think that's very like, these are all very like Hollywood standard. We have
very middle of the road.
Yes, this one reminds me of like a magician. It says, once you see it, you can never forget. Once it sees you, you can never escape. Which feels very magician coded. Who knows? Might be.
Job from Arrested Development peeks out from around the corner. Da-da-da-da.
Put a pin in parodies.
Oh my God.
We have the whole time I was in that house, I knew something was wrong.
That's terrible.
None of these are like particularly good. I'm assuming the Ju-on ones, like there's one and it's great.
Probably. That's the case with Audition. So.
Yeah. This one explains it a little bit more. They say that when someone dies in a powerful rage, a curse is made, which
like
is
the
exactly
opening text. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have do you have a grudge? Which I feel like is great.
That sounds like it's like the tagline for Mean Girls.
Do you have a grudge against
Do
Regina George?
God,
we all are Katie Heron.
That is the ugliest effing grudge I have ever seen.
We have two more. We have The Curse is About to Claim Another Victim. Fine. Whatever.
Okay, whatever.
And then this one I think was more on like the Japanese posters, which is even if you die, you can never escape.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh. That's really good.
Theo, you're like perfectly on theme. I have a little tidbit for Theo later. So put
oh my gosh, a Theo
specifically for Theo.
We have a black cat.
We do have a black cat. So that one's dedicated to Theo specifically.
Oh, she'll be so honored.
I was like, oh, this is for Theo. So it's like written in my notes.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Stop.
Yeah, I was very excited to shout
that
her
like
out.
makes my evening out.
Yeah. So put a pin and we have to make sure she's around to listen. So
yes.
Moving on from taglines, we have two Takashis for our films. I have Takashi Shimizu, so I'm just gonna say Takashi for director Takashi. So I
mostly call mine Mike, so that'll make it easier.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So of course we know he's the original writer and director of Ju-on, aka The Grudge from 2002. He also goes on to do Ju-on 2 from 2003. And direct the American version of The Grudge 2 in 2006. So he is like, and then he's just like splattered Ju-on. There is a huge series. There are so many films in this series, but I wanted to shout out a couple other films that people on Reddit really seem to like from him. So if you kind of like his brain, we have, so he's done like, I don't know how he fit two more films within this time span with the other things. So he has a film from 2005 called Reincarnation, which is a critically regarded J-horror film about a crew shooting a movie at the site of a past mass murder. So I feel like you would really like that. Yes. I don't know anything about it, but people seem to really like that one.
Okay, cool.
He also did Mary Bito in 2004. So again, he's like cramming these movies in. And so I don't know how this man had the time.
Oh my God, amazing.
People seem to really like this one. It's a gritty psychological cosmic horror film shot on digital video. And a lot of people online consider it a cult favorite and a departure from his usual ghost stories. So this one's a little bit separate. He really likes ghost stories, as we'll talk about in a second. He also has Howling Village from 2019, which is a part of his recent Village trilogy featuring Japanese urban legends and folklore. So again, very much in the vibe. So if you like his take, especially if you watch Ju-on, Siena specifically, or anyone who has not watched it,
awesome.
He very much stays within his favorite things. So
I love
that. I wanted to shout those ones out. So kind of like writer American remake. So it was actually screenwriter Steven Susko who brought the US remake to life with his version of the script and the remake of the American Grudge. And of course, he reached out to Takashi about making it and having him direct it. But he had a little help from his friend, Sam Raimi, who we've talked about a million and two times. I feel like he always him and Ted.
That was really cool to see on the credits.
I totally forgot. I totally forgot about that. And I mean, honestly, they're the reasons why it happened. They produced it through his company Ghost House Pictures banner alongside Columbia Pictures. And then Sam Raimi also said to work with distributor Sony Pictures to option the film and get the rights to the Japanese films because he was a big fan. So he's who we really have to thank. But I kind of love that the writer was like, I'm going to write this thing, bring in Sam, and then we're going to pitch it.
He built his own team.
I know. Out of love.
See that. Yeah.
And the goal, according to Ted Raimi, was always to have Takashi as the director, and they wanted to hire the same crew and just, quote, quietly replace the actors and keep them in the film in the same Japanese setting. They kind of did that. I don't know if they brought over a lot of the crew. again. Oh, IMDb was down for me today, so I couldn't check
No!
some
Oh my
last-minute things.
god.
I almost, like, text you in a panic of, like, I don't know how to finish my notes.
Jesus, that's, like,
Yeah.
my worst nightmare. I don't know what do I
Yeah, it was not
do?
great. So, I don't have a lot of the crew, but that was kind of, like, the intent for it. Takashi ultimately said he was excited to work on a remake of his own film because he saw the
Oh,
opportunity for him to improve and fix some of the problems and flaws that
interesting.
were in his original, which I'm sure as, like, a director and a writer of that second chance to be like, "Ooh, what could I do differently?" Which
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna wanna do. And he was asked in an interview if it was weird to make the same film, like, 2 years in a row,
Mhm.
to which he said, "Yes, it was very strange," and that he actually wanted to change as much as he could and bring in something new as much as he
Mm,
could. He went
interesting.
on Yeah, he went on to say, quotes, "Because when I first got the movie remake, I said no, because why do I wanna do this again? The same thing.
Mhm.
But when Sam asked me to do this, he said, bring in the different ghost taste to America. And that was such an
Mm.
honor to be asked for. And of course, I am a fan of
Mm.
Sam. And that's just a great honor
Oh,
to do what he asked. And that's why I decided to go with it."
that's
So,
so cute.
yeah, I
Stop.
I didn't know he, like, hesitated at first because that I couldn't find that, it was chud.com. There's an interview with
Thanks,
Takashi,
Chud.
which I think we've brought on, like, one time before.
We have.
So
Always gotta
he
shout out good old chud.com.
right, and he has his translator with him who he's had throughout the whole
Mhm.
process.
Aw.
So it's very cute kind of seeing his translation of these, being asked these
Love.
questions. And, writer Steven Susko also, just for reference, he also wrote The Grudge 2. He has a credit by on the 2013 Texas Chainsaw, which
Oh,
I found
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, and then he also wrote Hellfest and Do Not Enter, so he didn't really have a ton of stuff. He was kind of just
Hmm.
passion project. I'm assuming he maybe just,
I
like,
love
knew
that.
Sam Raimi and Ted Raimi in some way and kind of,
Clearly
got this
had
in front of the
very strong feelings about the grudge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got in front of the right people.
Hmm. He
And of
had a
course
grudge.
he had a grudge and he was like, "I will have a grudge if you don't let me do this." "I will haunt
God.
you for the rest of your days if we can't make this happen."
Oh my god.
I will be Regina George. So
Exactly.
would have been his villain, origin story there if he didn't get it
Ugh,
made.
I want to see that movie.
Truly.
I gotta say.
Takashi. So, of course, Takashi, like I said, he doesn't speak any English, so he had to have his
Mhm.
translator in order to help direct throughout the entire process. And of
Mm.
course, none of the actors, or like none of the American actors, spoke
Mhm.
any ounce of anything, specifically Sarah Michelle Gellar. So that's why I think it was, he has a translator. And I think it was also nice to have this kind of written from the
Yeah.
perspective of someone from America, especially as an
Mhm.
American remake. He also recalls, which I love this so much, he recalls that Lost in Translation was happening during the same time
Oh
of The
my
Grudge. And I have a
god.
quote from him talking about that. And I think it's
Oh,
so
I
cute that Lost
love
in
this.
Translation was a part of The Grudge in some way. So I hope Sofia Coppola knows this because I just think it's really cute.
That's so good.
So he says, quote, "So I saw it during shooting and Sarah got the DVD to watch it. So I was very conscious about the film and very conscious about Sarah understanding what I'm actually saying. Meaning, what if I spoke something like Lost in Translation? Or what if I spoke like Oh, this is where the translation. Meaning, what if something like Lost in Translation was happening here? I was conscious about that.
Mm.
What I'm trying to say is, if I hear English, I can kind of understand the nuance of it, but Sarah doesn't understand any Japanese, so she probably doesn't get the
Mhm.
feeling even. But she was very smart and was able to sense everything, so there wasn't a problem. But I love that, like, on set,
That's
they like
so
watched the
cool.
DVD of Lost in Translation. We're like, we're kind
Oh
of
my god, I
doing this
love that.
ourselves in this very weird way. And like, this
Oh
is
my
probably how
gosh.
she's feeling, and this is kind of how I'm feeling. I think it's so
Ugh.
cute.
Well, and especially like that Lost in Translation, like the scene of Bill Murray being directed through the translator, like that's such a great example of like the
Centauri
horrors of
time. Oh,
yes. For a good time, make it Centauri
God,
time.
that is one of the yeah, that movie like is part of
It's
my being at this
DNA,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
And so to hear that pop up, and then there is like you understand it, but then it's like the words aren't, an emphasis and whatever. So I think it's so perfect, especially if we talk about location. Like spoiler alert, it's all in Japan. Shock. Awe.
I'm shocked, yeah.
The crowd
Who
goes
could have
wild.
guessed?
All of you gasped. So I think it's really, really cool. Anyways, moving on to script and conception. I don't have like too much, but I do kind of want to bring in that Japanese like folklore and urban legends. So I have a little bit of information on that for those that don't know. I feel
Love.
like all of us probably have something in the zeitgeist. Like I feel like I knew of these things but didn't know the names per se. So I'm gonna give us like a kind of little folklore urban legend history lesson for a second.
Love.
Very dumbed down, obviously. But so the backstory that creates the curse in the series pulls from the myth Iowa, which is a traditional Onryo, aka the resentful ghost urban legend in Japan. So obviously we see that here. We see it a little bit in The Ring as well, which we've
Yes,
also
definitely.
covered. So the Iowa is a housewife disfigured and brutally murdered by her unfaithful husband, and she returns to haunt him and makes his murder his new lover. And according to the legend, a curse accompanies her story, and those who retell it will suffer injuries or even death. And that's not the only urban legend that we get in this film. We also have the bedroom scene where Kayako attacks Susan under the sheets. So like when she comes out of the bed, which is inspired by the old Japanese urban legend, the girl in the gaps, also known as Tsukima Onna, or like Gap Girl, which I love. She is a ghost that is said to enter our world only through small gaps in the real world. So she inhabits these very like narrow spaces, cracks in doors, under bed, behind furniture, and she
Oh my
kind of
God.
peeks at people with this sinister gaze. And you'll see her appear in horror stories, often asking victims to, and I'm assuming like maybe children, to play hide and seek, resulting in being dragged into a other dimension. And I just am like, I love that. And I want to find more, like, I know they're out there, but I want to
Yeah.
kind of watch more movies about that because
Oh, I'd never heard of that before. That's that
yeah.
hits. That hits.
Yeah, the girl in the gap. So that's kind of where we see
Ugh.
representation of that in this film. And I love that scene. Anything kind of
That's so
like,
good.
I forget, is it the others that we covered where there's like the ghost in the bed? I forget one of the
Oh
films that we covered,
gosh.
and I
I'm
don't like that imagery. It really creeps me
yeah.
out. Or like under the
I'm trying to
bed.
remember.
Yeah.
It might have been in no, it's not in Hausu. I don't think it's in the
Yeah.
others.
I can't
It
remember.
it might be a Nightmare on Elm Street, actually.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because
it's
that
in
it
one. I
does have a
mean,
lot of yeah. Anyway, if
it's
any
one
of
of
you
the
listeners
ones.
remember, write in and let us know.
Everyone's like screaming. It's like a specific one.
Yeah.
But I know we've covered something that had that imagery, and I'm just like, I am not a fan. It
It's
really creeps me out. And so now I'm actively after this going to hunt down films that have a little bit more of that, especially in like J horror.
more girls and
Um
gaps.
yeah, Girls in the Gaps.
Okay,
Girls, Gaps, and
also a
Gays.
t-shirt, I gotta say.
I feel like I am a girl in a gap as well,
Yes.
actually. I am also peering out from the cracks, looking at people with a sinister gaze.
Oh my god. Sinister GAYS.
Gaze. Yeah.
Yeah, sinister gays.
Moving on.
This is a goofy episode. I'm so
I know, I'm
sorry.
like, I honestly like, speaking of gaps, I feel like this is like gap filler because my notes are very thin. So I appreciate the
Amazing.
dialogue. Everyone, we're all just trying to get to audition and brainwash ourselves to get the imagery that Siena told us earlier out of our heads. So
Good luck. It's not working for me.
Takashi said he based his films on the Japanese culture and Japanese ghost stories because, of course, when he was little, he loved reading ghost stories, and that was kind of often what he was reading. And he said, quote, "In every book, the ghost rules, and what story..." Oh my God, why am I like having such a hard time reading today? Okay, I'm starting over, everybody. He says, quote, "In every book, the ghosts rules, and what the story is about is different. I want to combine everything to come up with my own world of ghosts and my rules. or that sounds good, or that looks good. I just kind of combined everything, and that's how it all came to be The Grudge. So he was just like, I like these things, I'm writing my own, and that's why there's so many. I have stories to tell about these folklores. So
Oh
that's
my
kind
God, I
of
love that.
the conception of this. So I kind of, again, without remembering and without recently watching it, I have some differences from Ju-on versus the American
Mm-hmm.
Grudge remake. So like I kind of teased earlier, Ju-on kind of it's more dread filled, it's more
Mm-hmm.
naturalistic, has a more naturalistic atmosphere, and obviously the US is a lot more fast paced and a lot more of those jump
Mm.
scares like we talked about. I feel like that was kind of word of mouth what we were all really excited for, and it was the
Mm-hmm.
2000s. So like The Ring was
That was
doing
big.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the J horror
Mm-hmm.
films I feel like were we loved a jump scare at that time. So
It's true. We still
and
do.
we still do, and especially if done right.
Right.
This one
Yeah.
has a lot, but I feel like they're still really effective.
I agree. Yeah. No, I don't think they're. I can't think of one off the top of my head that felt cheesy. Like they
Mhm.
all, or like cheesy in a way that kept me from being scared, at least. They
Yeah,
all
yeah.
actually scared me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel like this time around, they didn't get me as much as I remember them,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
before. So, I felt like a little less, I'll save my review for the end, I guess.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
although this film is obviously primarily a remake, it has a few plot elements that are taken from the other films in the Ju-on film series. So it doesn't just pull from the original. Again, he kind of like
Mm.
busted through and did a bunch of these films prior.
That.
So
Yep. Uh huh.
an example we have is Peter Kirk, so Bill Pullman. He is a subplot taken from Ju-on. He's like one of the ones taken from Ju-on. We also have the original Japanese film subplot involving the three schoolgirls encountering the curse.
Mm.
They were actually restored for The Grudge 2 in 2006. And they have like a
Interesting.
little, I think they have a little cameo in this one, but they were from the other films. We also have
Ah.
um Takashi talks about how he had to compromise for the overall mood and tone for the American audiences. So obviously again, he didn't write the script, it was handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he talks about when it came to performance, he didn't want to force any of the actors to do whatever he wanted. Obviously, he had
Mm.
a different vision. He said at this, and again, he's trying to translate things with everyone. He
Yeah.
said, but at the time, there is a definite timing and tone mode that I
Mm.
carry within myself. And sometimes the actors thought it's too long to hold that moment. But I just wanted them to trust me
Mm-hmm.
for that because sometimes there are times that I just wanted to stay in this one mood and burst into. Again, this is like his translated words. I'm sorry it comes off a little choppy. That part is
No,
not me.
that's what
Um
translation is so much of the
yeah.
time. Yeah, especially if
So,
somebody's trying to translate live, like it's
oh my god,
yeah,
I bless translators for
it's a
especially projects like this where there is like 100% barrier with
yeah,
actors. So he just talks about the tone kind of being different and having, which obviously you don't make a remake to do the exact
the same
same
thing.
thing.
Yeah, unless you're Michael Hanukkah
What
doing
did he
two
do?
different versions of Funny Games. The
Oh yeah, those are
which
really
I've
similar.
heard that it's like a shot for shot.
It
Yeah.
is a shot for a shot. Yeah, I've seen TikToks kind of pull those two things together, like the side by side. I love
Mm-hmm.
funny games, though. I gotta rewatch it knowing that they look at the camera a lot more, though. But
Yeah.
you know,
Still one
that's
of
for
my
another time.
favorite podcast moments of all time.
Listen, honestly, like you guys, like days like today, I just feel like I've done so good on the other episodes, and then like I get here and I'm like, I need a break,
No.
or I didn't watch. I was folding laundry and watching funny games and didn't realize they looked at us the whole time. I have my moments. It's been a week. Oh my god. Okay, so we're moving on to starring.
Mhm.
As we move through my very clunky, I feel like I need a translator.
I'm
I
picturing,
need Takashi's translator. Oh my god.
especially since we just came off of doing a Jordan Peele back to back, I'm picturing like Al's version of like the anger translator. Like Luther the anger translator for Obama from that sketch.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like we need Al's like film theory rant corner translator.
It's just me screaming into the void, throwing up.
Putting it in a dog bowl
Yeah,
and
putting it in a dog bowl. eating it back up. I don't know. So moving on. Starring, I thought this was kind of cute. Before filming, the cast and crew went through a ceremony where they were blessed so that nothing bad would happen on filming, which I think is cute because we talked about that in Serpent in the Rainbow.
We
But they
did.
went
I
through
love
that
that.
too. So that's kind of how they started. I don't have a ton on it, but they definitely tried to be really respectful throughout filming. Sarah Michelle Gellar, bless her, I tried to pull in so many quotes from her, but they were very 2000s. Like, I know what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
And she was trying so hard to be good.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah.
And she didn't like say anything horrible. It just was like very 2000s talk. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to bring those quotes in. I don't think that anyone wants to hear these. She does have like an interview where it is like the questions asked and then she answers them. So everyone can feel free to read those. She like said something weird about the little boy.
Oh no.
She called him weird, and I felt like that was really mean.
That's
I'm
very
like, I'm
early
weird.
2000s.
And he was a kid. And she was like, he couldn't speak the language, so I get it. And she was like, he was also a kid. But she just says some things where I'm like, girl, we had no PR back then.
training.
None. We had none. So speaking of, she plays Karen in the film. She's fucking Buffy. She's in Scooby-Doo. She's in I Know What You Did Last Summer, which we covered. She's in Cruel Intentions, Scream 2. And Ready or Not 2, which I just watched Ready or Not, the first one, finally. Really good.
Should we cover it?
It's a fucking rip-off of Your Next, man.
Oh,
it is
no.
And I can hear you all on the other side. Half of you are agreeing with me. Half of you aren't, and that's fine. I feel like you're wrong. I feel like Your Next walked, so Ready or Not could run. And it really bums me out how much attention it's getting. And it has Elijah Wood in it and Sarah Michelle Gellar in the second one.
Yeah.
And I forget who the
amazing cast
girl is. She's great.
Samira.
Yeah, and she's fucking incredible in this in that film. And it's so good. But I would say if all of you are considering seeing Ready or Not or have watched Ready or Not, please go watch Your Next.
Yeah,
it's just
it was
way ahead of its time. It was way ahead of its time. So
I also
there's my rant.
To shout out while Al is taking a drink. I finally watched Weapons, and I fucking loved it. I thought it was perfect.
Wasn't the way the camera moved so good?
Oh my God, it's so good. And Amy Madigan is everything in it. Like,
she is insane.
You know how like on the fence I was about Barbarian, and so I went into Weapons expecting to be very on the fence, and like, oh my God, I just like want to give Zach Kreger a hug, and we should cover it sometime. And
oh my God,
big fan.
I would love to, because I know nothing about that movie, and like making of, I should say. And it was a pleasant surprise for me because I had started watching sorry guys, sidetrack. I had started watching a bunch of like newer horror that had come out, like catching up with things, and Weapons like. It's so polarizing too. I feel like people like love it or hate it, and I think everyone who hates it,
you're wrong.
I don't know. I just want to know why. You know, that's my question.
Fair.
Just why?
It
felt
like it was
I would love
so
to cover
much
Weapons.
more of a like man, was it a leap forward from Barbarian? And like there was a lot that I respected about Barbarian, but it was like, whoa, he really locked in.
Yeah. Which, if you guys don't know, we covered Barbarian, so
we did. We covered it with Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, which was a fun, wild pairing. Yeah,
and I want to. Now I'm in Detroit, so I'm like, hey,
there you go.
I wonder if I can find those locations.
Oh, that'd be fun. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I got us very off track.
No, it's okay. The Grudge. Sarah Michelle Gellar. She is the only one I kind of have casting on. She was not the first choice for the role. It was actually her fellow co-star in Cruel Intentions and Scream 2, Selma Blair.
Oh my God.
Who was the first choice, which I also think would have worked, honestly. Yeah. I really like her.
I think she would have killed it. I agree.
Yeah, it would have been great. So, again, I don't
Different
really
vibe,
feel
but
like
equally good.
Yeah. I don't know if Sarah Michelle really like had a performance that was memorable for me in this, so I think it could have been fine with anybody.
I think
however,
she was there. She got the job done.
Yeah. She's cute. She's a little cutie patootie and everything. She
did what she was there to do.
Exactly. So again, I'm saving my thoughts. Bill Pullman. Daddy Pullman. I was
Daddy Bill.
As quick as I was excited to see him, I was equally upset at how fast he went. I forgot how like short he. I mean, he comes back later, but like I forgot how short he's in the film. I always
he doesn't even come back for that long either.
no,
It's
it's just a
still very brief.
flashback.
Yeah.
He flashed over and flashed back. So again, we've covered him a bunch of times on the podcast. Surfing the Rainbow, Arachnophobia. He's in fucking everything. Lost Highway, Newsies. I don't know. It's Bill Pullman. Get with it.
Well, we're working.
This is where we pull a little bit of the pin out of the parodies. He also appeared in Scary Movie 4 from 2006, which I think there's a new Scary Movie coming out. And
there is.
The production team brought in Bill Pullman to play a version of his character from The Grudge. But he does like play, I think, like the dad from The Village. Like that's like his character also. But
Amazing.
there is kind of like the plot of that one has like the Ju-on Grudge with Anna Faris. Like that's her kind of plot line. She has a scene with a little kid. So I thought that was kind of fun that they pulled him in for that, and he got to kind of make a parody of it with himself. So
what a delight.
Yeah, I mean, he's just seems like the best. And a little fun fact about his name, Peter Kirk, it's actually named after one of the film's co-producers, Michael Kirk. So there we go. We don't really talk about producers. Michael Kirk, we don't know what kind of guy he is. He is a producer.
We say hello and we wave goodbye.
Say hi and also wave goodbye. We have our dear Clea Duvall as Jennifer. I love her. She just pops up in the most random things. I feel like I don't know her film history, but again, we covered her on The Faculty. We also covered her on our double John Cusack episode with Identity.
Yes.
She's in Girl Interrupted, but I'm a Cheerleader. Can't Hardly Wait. She was all of our Queer Awakenings, or at least in the pot of the many.
For sure.
Yeah. So
feels like a strange thought, but even though she's not in the craft, she feels like somebody who would be in the craft.
I feel like she was an extra or like a background character, or they meant to cast her because she should have been in the craft.
Thank you. Okay, I'm glad that you see the vision here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine if she also was in the craft with everybody?
It would be incredible.
I feel too powerful. Something would have happened on that film set.
The gods were protecting us there.
Yeah. So we have Takako Fuji as Kayako. She is in basically all of the Ju-on series films and goes on to be in director Takashi's film Reincarnation that I mentioned earlier.
Cool.
Which I think is really cute. And it said that this disfigured aspect of the Onryo that I talked about earlier, like I said, is kind of like what inspired Sadako in the 1998 The Ring, which we
makes sense.
Did we cover? No, we covered the remake on the podcast.
No, we did the
we did the original. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, wait, we covered it on the pod, but then I thought
I think we did it with Vacancy because I think that was when you covered Vacancy.
Yeah, that's probably I blacked that one out too. Oh, we know I love Vacancy.
Yeah, it was like Al was very pro Vacancy.
I saw the strangers flash in front of my brain and I was like, did I block that out? So, a little, I should have put this earlier, but a little fact about Onryos. They are believed to be capable of causing harm to the world of the living, injuring or killing enemies, which, hey, that sounds great, or even causing natural disasters to exact vengeance.
Oh my God.
To redress, that's in quotes, the wrongs it received while alive, and then taking their spirits from their dying bodies, which I just think, I'm like, I want one. Again, I have to look up because I'm like, causing natural disasters. We have not covered natural disaster horror other than like Take Shelter wasn't really
kind of, but
natural disaster.
That's the closest.
But I'm like,
we should.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh,
but,
put
that on the list.
Someone bug us about that. Onryo are also often depicted as wronged women who are traumatized, envious, disappointed, bitter, I'm all of them, or just infuriated by what's happened during their life and exact revenge in death. And I'm like, that'll be me.
Yes.
Here I come.
Ready for
Onryo. So that's our little history lesson there. I think that's like one of our last. We have Katie Strickland as Susan. I thought I didn't know her from anything. She has the face of someone who I don't think I would know from anything.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to think.
She's in the TV series Cruel Summer and Private Practice. She's also in Girl Interrupted. She's Bonnie.
Whoa.
She's in the
Oh.
Stepford Wives, a little sneak peek, remake, The Sixth Sense, and American Gangster. So she is in a lot of things. Could have fooled
Bizarre.
me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Moving on, we're kind of going to run through these next two. We have Jason Behr as Doug. He, again, the romance element was not in the original. I get why they had it here. I think they could have left it
I think
out.
it's the
Doug
worst
did
part of the
nothing for
movie.
me.
Yeah. I
Thank
think
you.
Doug is absolutely the worst part of the
Doug
movie.
should have jumped over the balcony, and that's
That
when
would have
he
been
should
much
have
better.
ended his
Yeah.
time with us on
Mhm.
screen.
Mhm. Mhm.
He is
And
most
then give
known
us Bill Pullman back in
and then give us Bill
exchange.
Pullman back. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Mhm.
So he is most known for his role on Roswell, and also did the 2020 revival of it as well. And he also was
Oh.
on an episode of Buffy, which I was like, hey,
Mm.
full circle. And then he's just like a TV guy. He's in fucking
Mhm.
everything at least once. Another kind of TV actor, we have William Mapother. Oh, I never remember this man's name as Matthew. He is
Mm.
also in a ton of TV series. He's in Lost, The Mentalist, and he's in the film Another Earth, which we have talked about,
Oh.
I think, at some
Interesting.
point. I love
I
that
think
movie.
so.
Yeah, he's just a character actor. I don't know. I feel like you see his face and you're like, I know that guy from
Yeah,
somewhere.
he's got one of those familiar faces. Like
Yeah.
a yeah. Mhm.
Like he does like weird comedy roles. We have Yoko Maki as Yoko. She is the Japanese care worker that we see in the beginning.
Mm,
She
mhm.
was in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, but she
Oh my
also
gosh.
is in a lot of Japanese films, which like all the covers of these like films on IMDb look amazing. She's in The Ravine of Goodbye, Undercurrent, After the Storm, and The Blood of Wolves. And her
Mm,
character was mostly an original character, as she has no counterpart in the original film, and which
interesting.
I think is really cute. And although the original Ju-on film, there is like a social worker
Mhm.
predecessor as hired as a replacement, she's like she's unseen in that one. It's like an off-screen kind of role that they
Mm.
mention. So I'm also like, I wonder her casting story, because she also has the same name. So I'm like, I wonder if they
Yeah.
like auditioned her, liked her enough to kind of be like, hey, we'll have you as this character.
That's really cute.
I'm
I hope that's the
assuming, but I
case.
feel like that might be the case.
I choose to believe. Yeah.
Yes. We have Grace Zabriskie as Alice. She's like, I don't know, the woman that owns the house that's just in bed and like scurries
Yeah.
around, and I feel
Mhm.
like has to witness all of this shit, and I feel so bad
I
for
feel
her the
yeah,
whole time.
she feels she does not get her due. She
Yeah.
might come back as an Onorio, actually.
Honestly, I would. I'd be like, damn, can somebody get me out of this house?
Yeah.
So we know her as for her role in Twin Peaks. She's also in
Mhm.
Inland Empire, Child Play 2, and Wild at Heart.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's
Incredible actor.
so good. And again, I always forget that that's her in this film. We have Yuya Ozeki as Toshio, so that's the little boy. He is
Mhm.
in the first two Ju-on films, and obviously The Grudge, as well as the series called Hotel Concierge, but
Mm.
has no acting credits since 2015.
Oh. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so
So
I
he's
think he was
retired
just like,
from the
yeah,
business.
he was just a little kid actor. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm good. I was iconic enough.
Mhm.
I'm out. Of
I
course,
have
we
too good
have
mental health for this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I will circle back to him in like a second. Other than like Sarah Michelle Gellar calling him weird. I feel like he just has these
So
couple. I
rude.
know. I was like, he's a child. Leave him alone. Of course, we have Ted Raimi. He makes a
Mhm.
cameo as like the guy at the top of the stairs. His name's Alex. Is what his name is it? He obviously makes cameos every Raimi film that we've covered, so we've talked about him a lot.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I don't know if you caught this. I didn't know this when we paired these. We have Ryo Ishibashi as the
We sure
detective,
do. I
who
did
we're going to talk
not
about
know about
shortly
this.
as the
Yeah.
star of Audition. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to say anything about him.
Is he also in the original Ju-on? I don't think he is.
No, I don't believe he
Yeah.
is.
See this? Yeah. Is this the tee up point?
Yeah, so if you want to tee up everybody, this is the tee up point.
So Ryo Ishibashi is one of 4 different key creatives that are shared between my movie and Al's, that in I believe all but one of those cases did not work on the original Ju-on, but worked exclusively on Audition and then the American remake,
It's
which we
so
did not
funny.
know when we were debating whether to do the original or the remake, so we made the
Yeah.
right choice.
I know. I thought that was so funny. I would have like I'm wondering if Takashi was like, now is my chance to like get these
Yeah.
people over, and so I'm gonna like I didn't get to do this in the original. Now that I kind of have
Mhm.
this opportunity to bring them
I
over, so I'm
love
excited to
that.
hear. I did not actually look up crew and the key, so you're gonna surprise us all
There
unless
you
you guys already know
go.
this.
Oh
So
my god, I
I
love
was
that.
like so gagged because I had watched this first, so I didn't realize that was him when I watched
Yeah,
Audition. I was like, oh my
that's
god,
oh my
no
god,
way.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yay!
super
That's
cool.
a
So
fun mic drop moment on that pairing.
yeah, I was like, holy shit. So is Theo in the room? Theo, for you guys that don't know, is Siena's black
Theodore.
cat. Little baby Theo. This is a Theo fact that we have.
I think she's on her way. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Well, we'll start without her. The diva needs to take her time. It's okay.
Divador.
Diva. Have you called her that before?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
That's so fucking cute.
She's a giant
She's allowed.
divador.
She's a baby and I love her.
Yeah, she's so loud when we're not asking her to be on mic. So
yeah.
unavailable when it's her
I
time to shine.
We have to if we haven't got little clips of her like
Oh my
mewing and
god.
squeaking, we have to add them now. So this is for Theo and Theo
Yes.
only. So we're gonna talk about the black cat. So Toshio's pet cat goes unnamed in the film. However, fans and viewers refer to the cat in the film as Mar, as that was the cat's original name in Ju-on films.
Aww.
So well, this is where it doesn't get fun, so maybe Theo doesn't want to be in the room. Mar the cat was killed on screen in the original Ju-on films by stabbing. He was thrown in a bathtub and stabbed repeatedly with a box cutter. But for the Grudge, they didn't do that. They had to keep it PG-13, and his death had to be altered. So Mar was drowned instead, cash, but off screen. So we didn't have to see
Which
the
I
trauma.
appreciated. Yeah.
So Theo can maybe uncover her little baby ears to hear that part. So that's I realized that's like not a fun cat. Nothing happened to the actual cats that starred, but Mar. So we do have a name. It just was given
cute.
from the original film.
Thank you so much for bringing in a
yes.
Theodore fact. The Divador will be pleased.
The Divador. And a little, I do have one more history fact. So a little history fact about black cats and Japanese folklore is it's said that owning a black cat will bring good luck and fortune, which obviously doesn't do it in this film.
Not in this case, yeah.
Not in this case. And the actor who plays Toshio was obviously like always around the cat with filming, but in real life he was terrified of cats.
Oh, Toshio.
Yeah. So this poor boy, I think, went through it. I don't think he had necessarily a great time.
Oh no.
Especially being like young and like not knowing what anyone's saying around him and you know, the child actor of it all.
Point.
So
yeah.
those are my little cat facts.
Mar.
Sorry, Theo. Mar. Here's where we get to budget and locations. Do you want to take a little stabs with a box cutter at budget for this?
God,
I don't really feel like
America. I feel like it would be significantly more expensive than I'm guessing it was in Japan.
I gotta look up what Ju-on was. Actually, while you think, everybody lock in your guess. We're gonna look up the original.
7 mil.
Oh, okay. So Ju-on was 3.5 million. I think 7 mil is a great guess. You're just around the corner. It was 10 million to make, which
God damn it, I almost said 10.
Did you? Were you trying to be? I should have given you the 3.5 earlier. I feel like you would have bumped up.
I was going back and forth between 5 and 10, and so I picked 7 because it was in the middle. But
yeah. I feel like between like, you know, with marketing, who knows? But like
and the American cast.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I feel like for the cast that we had for it, I'm surprised that it was 10 million.
Yeah.
But it was also filmed in Japan, so I don't know where kind of costs got cut there.
Probably labor laws are different. It would be
I
my
think,
guess.
according to Sarah Michelle Gellar in her little interview, I think they might have been.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I don't think it was great, but like, who knows? That's just a silly little actress talking. Just kidding, I love her. So locations, like I said, spoiler alert, all Tokyo, Japan. It was
Mhm.
filmed from January 26th and continued through April. And then they did
Mhm.
reshoots in July. I think they flew Sarah Michelle kind of back for some reshoots. And unlike the other Japanese horror films, and specifically remakes happening at the time, we had The Ring, Dark
Mhm.
Water, Pulse, One Missed Call. Those were all between 2002 and 2008. This
Mhm.
remake was the only film out of all the others that actually remained, like the story remained in Japan instead of moving the story to America.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, I didn't even realize because
Yeah, I didn't
I
think
think
about that.
apart from Dark Water, I guess Impulse, I suppose. Yeah, it's like I had heard of all these films. I'd seen obviously
Mhm.
The Ring and One Missed Call. But
Mhm.
again, our screenwriter, he wrote it and that's where he wanted it to take
Right.
place. And so
That's
I
so cool.
appreciate the love of kind of swapping out, remember quietly swapping out the
Mhm.
cast for an American one, which is exactly what they tried to do.
Well, and I feel like it's also like with a story like this where it is a building that is haunted, like
Mhm.
if it is a building haunted by a Japanese ghost, I feel like it's gonna feel more like that if you shoot it
Right?
and set it in Japan.
I'm
Like,
like, what would they have done? Actually, now that you say it like that, I'm like, what would they have done if
yeah.
they brought it?
What
Like, why
would
is
the
this
entirely
Japanese ghost here? Like, that's would
I
that
mean, I
would
guess that is
feel.
kind of what the ring does. Like
But it's a tape, like it's a physical
yeah,
tape that can
it's true.
travel.
There's like an
There's a
explanation for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
There's some
There at
connective
least that
tissue
can
there.
travel,
Right.
over and across and wherever.
It's not a
Whereas like
building. Yeah.
yeah, like they could have used the concept, I guess, but I did find that
It would
interesting
have
that
yeah.
in this resurgence of like or kind of boom of J horror in America,
Mhm.
this is the one that as authentic as you can get to the
That's
remake
so
without
funny.
being
Yeah.
so different. So for the interior sets, they filmed at Toho Studios in Tokyo.
Mhm.
This also included the house, which was entirely built on a soundstage, which I love.
Wow.
And the design of the house was set to be based almost entirely on the house from Ju-on. So
Mm.
they pretty much took the exact same house and they built it like a normal house. It had two, and what do I mean by that? It had two floors so that the cuts did not have to be made with like characters walking up and down
Mhm.
stairs. The
Nice.
attic was built separately from the house to allow for more room when
Ah.
filming. The closet room where Takeo hides um uh the corpse
Mhm.
we have at the Hall's End that was kind of built in there. We
Mhm.
have the front room becomes Toshio's room, and
Wow.
we have like the window to the lobby, so that everything was kind of built as practically as possible so they could shoot.
Wow.
And then I thought kind of like a little fun fact, although it wasn't a real house, the actors and cast actually did respect the culture and take off their shoes while filming
Oh,
when they entered the home.
good.
So
I love
again,
that.
I feel like you're in other people's space, like
Yeah, follow
regardless.
the
So,
rules.
yeah. Moving on to sounds as we're like already rounding the corner. Moving on to sounds, we have music composed by Christopher Young, who did
Mm.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. He did
Oh.
Hellraiser, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, The Fly 2, The Grudge 2,
Oh.
sensing a theme, Spider-Man 3, The Uninvited,
Ooh.
Drag Me to Hell, Sinister, and 2019's
Wow.
Pet Cemetery. So he is very much a
Wow. A
horror
horror
composer.
composer. Cool.
Yeah, which again, I feel like I feel like I've heard of his name, but I didn't realize that he had done like the Hellraiser
Yeah,
soundtrack.
because
So,
I was thinking he was ringing a bell, but I couldn't place where from,
yeah,
and now
because
I
you
remember it's
covered.
because there was the unreleased Coil soundtrack for Hellraiser that then Christopher
Yes.
Young got brought on to replace. So that's why
Yeah.
we spent a little bit of time, but not a lot on it. Because I was
Yeah.
more interested in the Coil. But
Right. Yeah. So Christopher Young also like I feel like some names just stick out a little bit more, but he is definitely kind of typecast in that genre. Although there are some articles about him, and I want to say it is from this article that I have quotes from, which is moviemusicuk.com, which does go into like, yes, he's known for horror, but also he does really beautiful music outside of that genre as well. But we're not talking about those. So I have an article talking about Young's score that says, quote, "The reason The Grudge sounds the way it sounds may be as much to do with the director, Takashi, as it does with Christopher Young's own music sensibility. Having now experienced a number of Japanese and other Asian horror movies in a cinematic setting, the conventional style of scoring them is to blur the lines between music and sound effects, which I think is very important for this. There's not kind of like a over your head, like knocking you over the head soundtrack to this. He goes on to say composers such as Kenji Kawai, who scored the original Japanese version of The Ring, and Shiro Sato, who scored the original Ju-on, used synthesizers alongside a conventional symphony orchestra to create a wide range of creaks, scrapes, groans, and stings to accentuate the on-screen terror, which again, like those jump scares. He says Christopher Young cleverly has taken the way of thinking and twisted it to fit this slightly more conventional Hollywood attitude. The end result, while not exactly enjoyable in a traditional sense, contains more creativity than one would otherwise give him credit for, which I think is important to note out. This score is actually, if you look it up, it's structured, it's like 8 tracks, and it allows like this flow between it, but it's a total of 40 minutes.
Wow.
And he also notes you can see where the music for The Grudge would have limited appeal. Of course, there's no like real melody or beauty to it. But that, quote, "the craftsmanship and intelligent way he uses his orchestra to create these kind of unnerving sounds is more than enough to keep the more daring film fan happy," which I think is really cute.
Love.
And I was happy to find something about this film.
I really love a soundtrack where the music kind of blurs into the sound design. That always hits for me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think too with like some of the American remakes of Japanese horror films. I'm like trying to think like, did The Ring have, because that was very like there was the music, right? But it was mixed with these kind of like sound effects, quote unquote.
Yeah, I think The Ring, if I'm remembering correctly, and it's been a really long time since I've watched the remake, but I feel like that one, the music was like a little bit more American, but with some kind of atonal stuff mixed in, and this is like a little more atonal with some American stuff mixed in.
Yeah, I mean this one definitely I think does best at kind of keeping to more traditional vibe. Yeah. For my favorite fact of this whole thing, we have to talk about the iconic like vocal croak. I don't know what you want to call it.
The frog,
noise that we get, which I feel like we were all doing in 2004. I don't know about you, but like my mom didn't even see the movie, and she would be around the house doing that noise from different parts of our like house that definitely had a lot of hiding spaces in it. So she was the girl in the gap.
She was.
My mom loved to
terrifying in the best way.
She really loved to creep us. I think that's why I'm like so fucked up as an adult for other reasons that she did to me, but specifically being a horror lover, like this bitch loved a bit. She loved a scare, and like she at no cost would like she loved to hide in a corner of our house, and she would just like make noises, or she'd pretend to see aliens.
Oh my God.
She would pretend to be possessed.
Oh my God, Mom.
This bitch be cooking spaghetti and just freeze and then just turn slowly and like walk out of the room.
Jesus
Isn't that amazing?
Christ.
I feel like I can't be a parent strictly because I traumatized.
Yeah.
I mean, she ate with some of the shit that she did.
That's
it was
incredible.
So funny. It was so funny. But she would do that. So we have to talk about the croak, right? Can you do it? It's so good.
Yeah,
the iconic croaking that we hear Kayako make is often referred to as the death rattle, so the sound that humans make right before they pass. It also has to do with how she died. She had her throat slit, and Haru dies from strangulation. So there's a lot of kind of this idea of like vocal fry because of that. I also saw people on Reddit kind of joked about it being vocal fry in the way that sometimes I feel like I can get, especially after living in LA or being tired. I hear my vocal fry. So it's kind of that same register. And a la Jordan Peele, this is where we get our director cameo from Takashi.
No, that's so cool.
He is the open mouth croaking sound that we get.
God,
that is his.
That.
And it's accompanied by the sounds of like the like popping sounds and snapping sounds is plucking a hair comb.
Ew,
so it's his voice and like a plastic hair comb.
Oh, that's gross. I'm so into it.
I know, isn't that so good? It's so
sound
simple.
Design is so fun. That's really
so
cool.
fun. So I was super excited to actually have information on where that came from. So that was my most exciting fact about this that I could find, guys.
That was juicy.
As we're just about to finish. So I just hit 40 minutes. So speaking of 40 minutes, that was weird. There were about 40 minutes of material.
50 minutes. Look
final.
at that.
God damn, Travis, take it back. There was 40 minutes of material removed from the final cut. And about 7 minutes of deleted material was restored on the unrated cut of the film. So like the director's cut. Takashi mentions that he had obviously having to keep the movie PG-13. It was hard for him because he's a fan of gore. And he said that because of the MPAA that many things had to be cut. I do not think all of it was able to be restored. I don't know if at this point it lives anywhere in 2026, but at least on the original DVD release, 7 minutes was put back onto the director's cut. Yeah, fuck the MPAA, man. It's all made up. So, box office, it opened across US on October 22nd, 2004. And I'm going to give you a hint of what it maybe made because in the opening weekend alone, it earned $39 million. And the sequel film, The Grudge 2, was greenlit the Monday after opening weekend due to its surprise success at the box office. And at the time, it became the first horror film to top Halloween box office since House on Haunted Hill. 1999. So it was 5 years. House on Haunted Hill was holding that title, which I'm like 1999 version of that one. That would be the best. But so with that information, would you like to take a guess at what the film made back on its $10 million budget, which I talked about 2 seconds ago?
260.
Oh, I think you're being too kind.
Okay. Listen, if it made 39 and it's first weekend.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
You said cut it in half.
Basically cut it in half. Yeah, it made $187 million worldwide.
Okay, that's still pretty goddamn good though.
So that was just ticket sales. In the first week release of its DVD, it made $9.2 million. So it hit number 2 in sales behind Ray at the time, which I'm like, oh my god, forgot about that movie. So yeah, it
did not remember that existed. Wow.
I remember at the time it was big. So it kind of killed it. And I'm not surprised. I feel like coming off of The Ring, coming off of The Ring, people were really excited about J-horror. It felt, I think, I'm going to use the mass word and not how I feel. It was palatable. Especially at the time, like 2000s, it was more like these Americanized versions.
Yeah, it's a very Hollywood version of, like you said, that the original was much more kind of like out of chronology.
I think it was a lot more. I don't want to say the word experimental in the sense of like it was. There was no structure, but I think it was just had a little bit. This one was very clean, I think, also in just visual style too, which I loved, to be fair.
I think it really, especially with that, like, seeing the building so, like, empty and concrete, I think the style of the cinematography feels like it kind of matches that to me.
Yeah, it lends to the story a lot. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not surprised it did well, but it definitely did better than I thought. I'm gonna get through critics and then we can end this corner. I might agree with Ebert a little bit. I don't know.
Interesting.
So
Rare.
very rare to agree with a man. Never.
Shocking.
So it has a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb, which I think is actually great considering how much has
That's not
come
bad.
after this. I think we've seen better films since. I think
Agreed. Yeah.
we're
I think this
exposed
walked
to a
so
lot
a lot
more.
of other things can run.
Yeah. Again, this is like very entry level
Mm-hmm.
movie for people getting into, like, very, very entry level.
I just had a horrible analogy, but I've got to say it. I think it's
Oh my
like
god, please.
what Barbie is to feminism, this is to J horror. Like, it can be a great little like door in, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. No. That makes sense though. It is like, it's easy to. You know what it's saying right away. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all
not
out
gonna
there
make
for
you
you.
guess.
If you don't get it,
It's
you're
not
never
gonna
gonna
give
get it.
you like an hour of existential romantic drama
Yeah.
before getting into the core.
That's so funny. That's actually a great analogy. That's exactly what it feels like. Where do I go from there? It has a 41.
What did Ebert say?
So he I was like, it's been a minute since I brought in one of his things. So
Yeah.
he not only gave it a 1 star,
Oh my god.
but he included it on his most hated list. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
His article title, which I thought was funny, was easy to hold a grudge against fragmented formulaic film.
Oh my god.
Which just sounds so like he's such
so
a teenage
catty.
girl.
Yeah, he really is. Oh,
so
I love it.
again, the more I read this man's reviews, the more I'm like, he does not know how to write for the fucking life of him. So I brought in like snippets of like sentences because I couldn't bring in a cohesive paragraph from this man from this review. So I just brought in 3 quotes that he has in it that I thought were just like, they kind of made me like giggle. It was kind of funny. So one was, it loses intriguing opportunities to contrast American and Japanese cultures, alas, by allowing everyone to speak English. Cool. I don't know. I feel like you just didn't get it. I don't know if that's just
that's not what I have a problem with at all.
No,
but
he said, I eventually lost all patience. The movie may have some subterranean level on which the story strands connect and make sense, but it eluded me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess I know.
Did
he was
like finish
these
watching
are diary. These are diary entries from this
Oh
man.
my god, you're so right.
Why do we give them a platform? And then the last one, this was the last line in the review, and I thought it was so funny. And again, this is a diary entry one. He wrote it. As for Bill Pullman, the more I think about his opening scene, the more I think it represents his state of mind after he signed up for the movie, flew all the way to Japan, and read the screenplay.
Oh no, that's so brutal.
Isn't that like, what the fuck? He's so petty. Like, girl, take a beat.
Terrible.
Isn't that?
Oh my god.
I like this one really got me. Like, he's had some bad ones, but I feel like this one was just like
fucked up. Like,
this was the burn book. He just wrote a burn book entry.
Okay.
Is this our Mean Girls
Roger
episode?
Ebert is Regina George.
I think
he's
he
the
is.
Regina George of the film world. We cracked it.
We've never seen them in the same place. We've never seen.
It's so true. You're so right. I wonder what he gave Mean Girls. He probably liked it.
And then what I'm going to end on is Letterboxd. It gave it a 2.8 rating, which way better than I thought, considering like
I would have expected lower, honestly. I gave it 3 stars.
Oh, nice. Okay, I would agree. So I have 4 little reviews, and I thought they were so funny. So one said, I miss the vibe early 2000s horror gave off. Yes, same.
True.
Someone said, I was thinking of Scary Movie 4 the whole time. So I got a nod.
Incredible.
And then one said, I can hold a grudge too, bitch. You ain't special.
Oh my god, incredible.
And Ebert.
I love that.
And then the last one gave it 2 stars. And this is I want to do it in the voice, but now I'm afraid I'm going to fuck it up. It's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and this review just said, it's bad, Scoob. And I just think that's
real bad.
It's bad, Scoob. So that is The Grudge.
I think the other thing that it really doesn't have going for it, if I'm being brutally honest, is also I
Be
think the ad
brutally.
campaign kind of fucked things up in that it gives you the scariest image from the ending of the movie right on the poster, and therefore it does
Yeah.
not really work as a scare. I mean, it's also like
That's a really
it's
good
very
point.
much it's doing the same thing that Ringu is, and I
Mhm,
prefer
mhm.
Ringu, but also I think that that would have hit better had we not seen it on our way into the movie.
And
Like,
I think that's all they had at the time too, because right, like
mm,
American audiences, we were like,
mm-hmm,
I say we as the collective, not as like
yeah,
everybody, right? Like a general sense of like we were
mm-hmm,
new to J horror. It was kind of coming over in a bigger way that we had not
yeah,
seen in this big Hollywood. And
mm-hmm,
it's like, how else would they have gotten us there? Sure, they could have thrown
right,
Sarah Michelle Gellar, but also like we didn't have the context of this folklore and these urban legends. So
right,
like even if I
right,
think the little boy is on Ju-on, but again, they have
mm-hmm,
that context of like that's our culture. We were raised on these
mm-hmm,
stories. That's really scary to us regardless.
right, right.
You know,
We don't
and yeah,
have
I do
that.
agree that, I don't think they knew how to market it. I think they got lucky
Mm-hmm.
off the sales and the wind of the ring,
I
honestly.
think
And I don't
so.
think
I think
that's to be bad. I'm happy that it came to us so that we
absolutely.
could talk about this
No, I
film
think we can both
and
like
Ju-on.
appreciate what it's doing and also recognize that like it owes a lot to the ring.
Yeah.
It owes a lot to the
Yeah.
ring. And that's fine. A lot of horror movies
Yeah.
owe a lot to a lot of other horror movies, but we can
Yeah.
also call a spade a spade. Mm.
Yeah. I felt like here's where I kind of I loved it at the time and I just felt like I walked away from
Mm.
it not having any of it stick. And that's why I want to watch
Oh,
Ju-on because I do
interesting.
feel like I'm gonna rewatch Ju-on and now I'm gonna flip and like that better just to see like his real
Mm-hmm.
original vision.
Interesting. Yeah, it,
I
it
don't
really
know.
did make me want to watch the original, and I feel like
Yeah.
I'd probably like it better, but
Yeah,
I'm
same.
also
But
curious. I don't want to put Travis on the spot, but I know that Travis is a very big fan of the Grudge universe, and so
oh
if
yeah.
Travis wants to say anything or drop any defense into the chat,
Yeah, I
um,
feel like actually I don't even think we talked about that. I
that's
just was
so
like,
funny.
we gotta get Trav a mic at some point for
We
like
really
instances
do.
like this because pure nostalgia for him. Yeah, that's the
Aw,
thing
that
too.
makes
It is
sense.
like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. I also just feel like as a person, and I think that's what's really interesting for
Hmm.
this podcast for us, for all of you guys watching like and rewatching things with us, or I don't know, it's just like these were nostalgic films, or like we'll watch, these films
Hmm.
that we used to love or like we used to hate. I feel like me and you have definitely had
Yeah,
times where like we thought
totally.
like and it's been interesting to kind of be like, I'm a different person now. I've watched different
Yeah.
films now. I feel like you specifically, Sienna, have like
Oh my
opened my
gosh.
eyes to so many things that I'm just like,
Well,
okay,
and
cool. These were like what I used to love, but now it's like now I've seen Audition and I'm like, holy
yeah.
fucking shit.
Well, and
Not to
vice versa.
get
Like, I don't think I ever would have watched Hostel before the podcast, and I actually really liked it. Like,
yeah. So
oh,
it's
Travis just wrote us an essay. I love this.
I'll let you take that one.
I'm sorry, I interrupted. What were you saying? And then I'll read Trav's bit here.
No, it's just yeah, it's just interesting to be like a different person now watching it. And
Mm-hmm.
kind of seeing it from my older, more
Yeah.
experienced horror movie viewing eyes than before.
Which also I do think that like movies like this that depend a lot on jump scares, the more
Mhm.
horror movies we watch, the less effective they become for us.
Yeah.
Whereas things like Audition that are
Mhm.
more about something that like it's not like there's really not a lot of jump scares in Audition. I think arguably there's one, like the bag moving.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that's really the big jump scare.
Yeah.
But like the rest of it is just like horrifying, and
Yeah.
that remains
Yeah.
horrifying watch
Yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
watch.
Absolutely.
Um
Absolutely.
but Travis says, I'd say Scary Movie really took the wind out of the scares of it. Oh,
Mm.
interesting. Even watching the classic scenes, all I could see was Anna Faris doing the jokes.
See, yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of to
interesting.
your point, what you just said too, is like it uh, we
It's a
were hit or
first
miss in the
time
2000s.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some movies are made to some horror movies especially are more
Mhm.
made to rewatch than others.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
Yeah.
also part of why I think I came out a little more positive than you on it because I hadn't seen it before and so it was a first time
Oh,
watch.
yeah. Yeah, I
So,
was like, "Oh, boo."
Oh
I just
no.
felt very I felt very indifferent watching it, and I was like, it's
Mm.
good, and I can't
Mhm.
place what I don't like,
It's just not
except
that
just
it
doesn't
doesn't feel
do anything.
fresh. Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't
so
feel as
I don't know.
fresh.
It's my opinion. Who really
Interesting.
cares? But there it is. And maybe that's reflective of my notes too. I think Takashi just seems amazing, and
Mhm.
everything felt like it was done so well, and it was done with so much love, and so many people loved it, and it did so well at the box office.
Mhm.
Um yeah, but kind of, as we get into Audition, I can't wait because I feel like my brain was really craving something like
Yeah.
this after. So I
Something.
feel like my brain was stimulated once again. It was like a
Yes.
little shock to the heart. So
There you
it felt
go.
nice. Yeah.
Well, let's take a break and come back for a little shock to
Yes,
the heart, shall
please.
we?
Yes, please. Thanks guys for listening to me.
Oh,
Okay.
I had a great time.
We'll be
We'll be
right
right back. And
And
we're
we're
back.
back.
So I only have one pair of sunglasses.
I was like, where are you
And
going?
they are heart-shaped. They were
Oh my
part of
god.
the amazing care package that Creeps and Coffins sent us.
Yeah.
But
I have
because
those in my
Takashi Miike,
car.
I know, I do too. They're my
Ah!
car sunglasses. But because Takashi Miike wears sunglasses all of the time in all of his interviews and in all of his on-camera appearances, I feel like I
Yeah.
needed to start us
Like in
out here,
hostels.
although the hearts are very not on brand for him.
That's so funny. Listen, it's because maybe
Um,
no one's given him heart sunglasses like we got before.
I think he'd rock them. Let's be
I do too.
real.
He's such a
Also,
cutie.
I need my glasses to read my notes, so that was a very short-lived bit, but
That's amazing. They're there in
had to do it
spirit.
briefly. Exactly. Picture them layered on top of these. I just won't be
Oh
able to
my god,
read
that's
that way.
amazing.
So, diving back in, what
Yes.
we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
Not to shit on
I've
the Grudge.
I've
Just
been waiting for this.
okay.
Both to get a break from
Fantastic.
talking horribly. I'm so sorry, everybody. And because I fucking love this movie.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I know I'd been like hyping it up to you for a really long time, and
Mhm.
I was like, God, they just need to hold on until that hour mark. They just need to hold on until that hour mark. But God, it's a long slog. And like it's not that it's
I
not fascinating during that time.
yeah.
It just like feels like you're watching the wrong movie. um
I would even say I know you said that, and I know the internet has said that, or people that recommend it have said
mhm.
that. I
Mhm.
was so intrigued knowing that something was coming, and
Mhm.
god do it's one of those movies too where people say it does pay off when you get there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like those last how many is it, the last 20 minutes? Or what, how long is
It's
the last, when you get to it, an hour? 45 minutes?
it's the part where it, like really where the shit hits the fan, like from when he meets the man in the wheelchair onwards is about
Mhm.
like 25 minutes. And
Left?
it's like an yeah, from the end.
Wow. See,
And
but
it's like an hour 50 movie.
it those last 25 minutes make up,
Mhm.
I mean, it's it feels like its own movie within itself, and it just
Yeah.
the payoff of it is so good. I
It's
would, yeah, if no one's seen it, don't listen to this episode. 'Cause
do
I
not.
do
This
not get
one
it
cannot
spoiled.
be spoiled. It absolutely cannot be spoiled.
Sorry, I just coughed in the mic.
Sacred
Yeah,
territory. Do not go
I
there. Um,
I loved every second of it. It was
ugh,
so funny. It was so
ugh, it's
interesting. It brought
really
me back to
funny,
film
right?
school. I feel like this should have been
Yes.
showed. Do you remember In a Mood for Love?
Love In the Mood for Love.
The
Yes, of
Chinese film,
course.
drama,
Mhm.
not a horror movie at all.
Mhm.
But it was on par with cinematically something that I feel should have been shown in film school. Eh, I don't know. There's
I
so many shots that were insane that I was not bothered waiting for the thing to happen. I just knew that was
ugh.
a cherry on top of the thing
Oh,
that
I'm
would
so
happen.
glad. I'm so
Yeah.
glad because it's really it's a perfect movie. This is a perfect movie.
It is perfect.
Like,
it's perfect.
I think this is like on the horror level of like The Shining. Like, it is that
Sure. Yeah.
This is God tier horror, guys.
It really is. I am like hard pressed to find something like this.
Oh my God,
That
I'm
also,
so glad. And
I've never had a physical reaction the way that I have to a horror movie.
This movie really.
I can't even think of something that made me like. I was almost throwing up.
Me
I
too.
wasn't even watching it, so I don't even know. Like I saw the bowl come out, and I was like, "Your girl is out of here. I am out."
To make it even worse, I rewatched this last night in the bubble bath, and I was
Oh
like,
God.
"This, like,
You're like,
there's
"My bubble
there's
bath
nowhere
has
safe."
betrayed me.
Like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
sorry if that's TMI, y'all, but
I love that's a wild thing to watch in the bath. You were like, my bath is vomit now. Great.
yeah, I like went into it and I was like, oh, comfort movie. And then I was like, Siena, what the
You're like,
fuck?
my bath is foamy, just like the bowl of vomit. Great.
Frothy. Yeah.
Oh, rude of
I'm
you to
so
bring
sorry.
it back up that way.
Anyway, Audition.
You got your prop.
I've got my prop. I actually was lucky enough to watch this in film school, but not in a regular class. This was I got to take this amazing, and it's actually where a lot of the stuff that I love that I brought in for the podcast was first like introduced to me. My teacher, Rob King, shout out Rob King, taught a 1-semester elective class called Cult and Exploitation Cinema.
Oh, cool.
And it was amazing. It's where I first learned about Giallo. It's where I first encountered Argento.
Nice.
And we watched this in class. And I remember him being like, look, I know you guys, like, we watch a lot of really intense stuff in here. Nothing I could say could prepare you for this. And, like, we all were just like, you're pulling our legs, Rob King. Getting to, and like, I sat near the very front and getting to hear like row after row of people behind me, like, retching.
That would have been me. I would have to leave.
So much.
Watching
people did get up and leave. Like,
I'm sure.
Not because they didn't enjoy it, just because they like had to.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, like, you were strangers in a room. That's kind of what I loved about film school, watching films in a theater setting in a class with people you don't know, is like the collective, like, it did feel like going to the movies, seeing it for like, you know, when these movies came out. And so, I'm so jealous you got to have that experience, because I can, like, that would be such a
it was
core
incredible.
memory.
It was, it like changed me. Getting to see the eye scene on that scale for the first time, papers were written now. Papers were written.
I'm sure. You just went home frantically writing.
No, literally, yeah. I'm like scribbling on my own arm. Like, so I'm so glad that you enjoyed this. This has been one of the ones that I've been most excited to introduce you to, because I was just like, Al and Asami are gonna get along so well.
She is my fucking icon.
Yeah, she's good for her. She is.
I said
good
that's
for
what I said.
her.
I was like, this is the most good for her film that I didn't know was a good for her film, because I was like, she's made him be crazy. I was like, is she? These men are disgusting. These men are horrible. And then just that end, what does she say? Tiki tiki tiki.
Kitty, like, kitty, 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 kitty,
yeah. Oh my God. It was a perfect, like, I knew nothing about it too. And I think that was like the best way to go in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had heard of it. We obviously, when I talked about Hostel, we talked about Mike, and we mentioned this and wanted to do it, and you've brought it up, and like the universe has brought it up, and it is truly one of, like, I think, it's like a new obsession favorite. I
could cry.
It seared into my brain for all of eternity.
You bring me so much joy right now.
Yeah, I am so honored to be able to watch this and hear all the things about it. So
so let's dive in. This DVD was one of my main research tools, because as you would expect, as with most things that are in translation, there is not that much original
Mhm.
source material from the time that it was released that is available in English. What there is a whole lot of recorded video interviews.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so this one has a couple of really interesting things on it. There's like an introduction to the movie by Takashi Miike. There
Cool.
is a like half-hour interview with the author of the book that it's based on. And there is an audio commentary with Miike on just the last like half hour of the film,
Shut up.
which like really tells you like it feels like a different movie. And he starts out by being like, "Hi, I'm Takashi Miike and welcome to the final reel of Audition." And just like it's
I
so
love
good.
him.
He's a delight. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you remembered his Hostel cameo because I feel like being
Mhm.
able to picture Miike as I tell you about
Yeah,
him does a
yeah.
lot for the whole. Um
Sunglasses and all.
Yes, sunglasses, incredible leather jacket. I should put mine back
Mhm.
on. So I'll start us off with the tagline because there's only one, as you said, as is typically the case with the
Yep.
Japanese originals. There's like just one, and it's incredible.
Mhm.
And like it's also clearly this is a tagline in translation, presumably, but whoever
Sure.
did the English version of this, it slaps.
Ugh.
It just says, "She always gets a part."
Oh my god, stop. That's great. Oh
It's
my god, that works on so
perfect.
many
I
levels.
know, and I'm like, was the
Ugh.
pun in the original? Was the pun just in the
I
English
hope
like,
so.
it's so
I
good.
assume
It's
so.
so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, directed by Takashi Miike, this is, I think, probably one of his most, if not his most well-known film in America. But he's an incredibly prolific filmmaker. He has 125 credits on IMDb.
Whew.
And he's not even that he's that old. He's 65 this year. So
Oh
like
my gosh.
at the
Yeah.
time this came out, he like was not yet 40.
Oh
Like
my god.
however, the reason he was able to do that was that Takashi Miike typically would film 3 to 5 movies per year, which is
I think
insane.
I think my Takashi did the same thing too
Yes.
because that man was
Yeah.
spitting out films like 3
Uh-huh.
a year.
I was like trying to keep
Crazy.
my mouth shut when you were saying
Oh
that. It's
my
wild. So
gosh.
like a film every couple months. Just insane.
Oh.
And it's not even like he worked with the same editor on most of them. So I'm like, you must have been spending some amount of time on all of these processes.
Yeah.
It's wild. But some other films he's made that you might have heard of. He did Ichi the Killer. That's another pretty famous one.
Mm.
13 Assassins, Visitor Q. He's the one who did the original Japanese version of One Missed Call, which is apparently way better than the American version.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either.
The American one's
Have you seen one?
fine. I haven't seen the original. Heard good things,
Oh.
obviously. It's got a what's her name who like bless her, she can't really act in it. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
she's adorable
Not
but can't act.
surprising.
So
The Great Yokai War. And he has like a zombie puppet musical called The Happiness of the Katakuris, which I really want to watch.
shut up.
Yeah, and if his name sounds familiar, but it's not from any of those titles, it might be because he's right now working on a film with Charlie XCX that was announced not that long ago.
Oh fuck! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Whoa!
As we all know, Charlie is a giant cinephile, and I believe that it was probably Audition that got her interested in his work. So, very
Oh my God,
cool. We
bless.
love.
That's cool.
The screenplay is by Daisuke Tenkan. He also wrote 13 Assassins for Takashi, as well as The Stairway to a Distant Past, The Most Beautiful Night in the World, and Mao, among many others. But it's based on the 1997 novel by Ryu Murakami, who I'm going to talk actually more about than the screenwriter because Ryu is a filmmaker in his own right. He's a director, and so Miike did this adaptation like with his permission, with his blessing, got his permission to use a different screenwriter instead of using him directly. They got like a really good relationship established from this. And because he's a director, he got the idea for the book because he was conducting auditions for one of his own movies and was thinking about, oh my God, it would be so easy to use this for dating. But then he concluded that, quote, if you do that kind of stuff, it would be bad karma. And so he writes a
how
novel about it instead.
simple and
I
perfect
know.
is that idea?
And it's so, I love it's so
Genius.
full circle that it comes back around to being made into a film, but not directed by him, and that he actually is really happy with it. He is
Oh,
extremely
nice.
proud of this. We'll talk more about it later on. But we have the return of Ryo Ishibashi as
Yay.
Shigeharu Aoyama, who's our widower. And again, when I suggested this pairing, I did not know that he was also in
Yeah.
Alston.
It's so
Wild.
cute. He's great.
He's also in The Suicide Club. He's in an episode of Masters of Horror, The Naked Director, and he comes back in The Grudge 2 as well. At the time this movie came out, he was particularly well known, though, as a rock star. And we're going to talk more about his background later on in the casting, because he's like a fascinating character. And I suspect that this role might be part of why he ended up in The Grudge, because before this, his career was on like a really different trajectory in terms of the kind of roles he was getting. We have Ehi Shiina as Asami. She's also in Tokyo Gore Police, Outrage, Sky High, and Animus Anima. But this was only her second film. She'd made a movie called Open House the previous year, but she came from the world of modeling, which I think you can tell she has that that poise of somebody who like walks runways, you know? Like she has that feeling, even though that's not the character. She did apparently have some stage experience as well, which I feel like I should shout out, because again, like she gives an incredible performance. I don't want to make it sound like she's like a total newbie to this, but she's not from the world of film.
That's wild.
And we have Jun Korimura as Yasuhisa Yoshikawa, who's the film producer. He is actually perhaps a familiar face because he appears in Kill Bill Volume 1.
Funny.
Almost certainly because of this movie. He's also he's also in The Wailing, Ichi the Killer, Shin Godzilla. He's the voice of the Parakeet King in The Boy and the Heron, the recent Studio Ghibli movie. And he's the voice of Hattori in The Wind Rises. So he's done some Miyazaki work.
Nice.
This film was produced by Omega Project, which is a Japanese production company which had just done Ringu and really wanted to like ride that wave of genre-based success. But the thing is, Ringu had trouble getting its Korean release set up, and so because of that, Omega was like, we've learned our lessons, let's get the Koreans on board from the beginning, and so they partner with AFDF Korea and a few other companies to work on adapting the novel Audition, so it ends up becoming this like multinational co-production. The other important result of Ringu was that they wanted to try something that wasn't supernatural horror, because Ringu very much is. And so they felt like Audition would be a really great fit for that. And put a pin in like grounded horror. For one thing, it's a big part of how they got Ryo, our shared actor, to take the main role, because he's like not a horror guy, but he liked that the script was sort of about human nature and that he'd get to work with Mike. But we'll come back around to this idea of supernatural versus like quote unquote grounded horror in a few other places. So pinhead. Part of the incentive in choosing Mike to direct was that at the time he was not known for horror. That wasn't like really, it's not that this was the first thing he'd ever done in the genre, but it wasn't what he was like cranking out 5 films a year in. Although this very much changes that reputation. He's now very much known as like a horror director, but before this he'd actually done like a lot of like Yakuza films. And he points out that like a big thing that like gangster films and Audition share in common is like a focus on how the family unit functions or becomes dysfunctional, which I thought was like a really interesting tie-in. I never would have made that connection, but like makes perfect sense. Tengan, the screenwriter, was best known at this point for a drama film that he'd done that was directed by his dad, who was a famous director that had won like the Palme d'Or at Cannes. And Mike says he's the one who brought Tengan on board for the adaptation. So they choose their director chooses the adapter. But moving into writing, once they start working together, Mike like really enjoys poking fun of his screenwriter, which like he loves poking fun at everybody and everything. He's a very unserious man. But he says that, quote, "The script is really strange. Tengan must have been taking some pretty bad drugs when he was writing this stuff." And I'm like, again, like, the lack of PR training, like,
He's like,
I
he was really kind of
love
fucked up
this.
in the head. He
Yeah,
must have
well,
been on something.
especially, like, it's very brave to make jokes like this that you know are going in translation because how much is getting
Oh my God,
lost
yeah,
in the
that's so
course, and he just,
true.
like, does not care. He's like, "You
Just
either get it or
giggles.
you don't." Yeah,
Oh
hee hee.
my
Puts on
God.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Um Mike also says that Tengon's script, with the important exception of the ending, was because the ending is so visual, was actually more faithful to the novel than the finished film is. So he's suggesting that like many of the liberties taken are his own. But then on the other
Oh.
hand, Ryu Murakami, who wrote the book, said that he was actually kind of uncomfortable when he first read the script, and it was actually the direction that Mike gave it that he found to be really faithful to his novel. And
Oh,
again,
interesting.
he really loves what Mike does with it. And one thing that both of them agree was just Mike's idea and Mike's alone is actually the bag. That bag sitting in the back of the phone
Ooh,
calls, not there in the novel at all, which I think is a brilliant addition.
yeah.
It really gives you such like it ups the creep factor from a very early point, even before we see what's in the bag or before the bag moves. Just like
Yeah, it
you
hooks
want
you
to
in
know
it.
what's in the bag.
Yeah, it's like you said, like there's so much before kind of everything like shit really hits the fan. Like
Hmm.
something's looming, and it's an interesting puzzle piece to
Yeah.
it's almost like because obviously the description of the film I stumbled upon it because I didn't know anything about this movie. Nothing, not
Hmm.
a drop. I forget what
Love.
it was when I looked up to see if I was watching the right one. And there was just like a one sentence about like a crazy woman takes
Hmm.
and so like to
Hmm.
have the bag exist in the room with her that adds this element of like, okay, I know this, but
Hmm.
like what's that
Yeah, like
thing?
is it
Like
torture stuff? Is it a dead body? Like I know it's
uh
not going to be good, but I don't think you don't expect what it is.
no,
Like
no, not at all.
um which is very that that reveal I still think is one of the
Oh,
best
it's
scares in cinema
amazing.
history.
The feet
Um
too kind of like freak
oh,
me out.
ugh,
The
yeah, the
fingers really
close up
freaks
on
me
them
out too, yeah. In like a
and
different way that like
yeah,
I can't place
it's
it.
ugh.
Were they real hands?
Um
I don't know.
I actually
I don't think they
the
were real hands.
hands I
They
don't
looked like
think were
puppets.
real. Yeah, that sounds right. That
Freaked me
that I
out.
didn't actually get info on, but I would guess that puppets is correct. Um so when um Murio Murakami in this interview that's on this DVD that I was watching, the interviewer asks him both like as the author and as a director in his own right, what he thought was hardest to adapt in the story, which I'm like, this is
Mm,
why it's so cool to have a filmmaker be your source material. Like, you can't ask that
yeah.
question usually. And he points out that so much of who Asami is the direct result of the trauma she's experienced. But
Mhm.
if you like reveal your hand and like tell us about any of that trauma too early in the narrative, it's going to quote unquote expose the trick. And so trying
Yeah.
to make you care about her and feel empathy for her the way Aoyama does and the way we need to
Mhm.
without
Mhm.
giving us like the reasons why she is the way she is like a really tricky balancing act to pull off. And he also, I love this thinking. He posits that in order to make a female character truly scary or like a really good horror villain, you need to make the male character very quote unquote ordinary. If the man were evil too, they would cancel out each other.
I love that, and he is so perfectly ordinary and just
He's
like
very ordinary.
his intent is good but wrong.
It's
Like
like
it's like you're I don't know how to
I'm
describe it because it's awful.
it's awful. It's
His
like
friend's worse, to be fair, but like
his friend is
and
much
like
worse. It's like
he
okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you go. You're gonna say it better than I
I'm
am.
okay, I'm gonna take this into a dark place. Bear with me. I
Ooh, let's
apologize.
go into the gaps.
But like I don't know. I've been very much ruminating on the story about like the online rape academy
Oh
that
my god,
was
yeah,
like
this is too.
revealed.
Me too. It's been
Yeah,
a
and
yeah.
It's, like, very hard not to think about, and it's not like that's surprising, but, like, it really
Mm-mm.
does it's like when you see numbers that big, and I know, like, that's the number of people who visited the whole site, blah, 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 but also,
Just
like,
in
if you're going to
February.
yeah, and also, like, whether you're going to the quote, unquote, "rape academy" part of it or not, you're still visiting a site that's specifically, like, offering porn that most other sites do not because it's non-consensual,
Mm-hmm,
and so,
mm-hmm.
like, that's, I don't know that I think any of those views are any less to blame, but, like, seeing stuff like that, it really does drive home the sense of, like, it is like, the scale of what is considered good intent is so
Mm-hmm.
skewed. It's like, yeah,
Sure.
he's still manipulating a woman and tricking her and lying to her about a job opportunity and objectifying her and talking about how he wants her to be docile. But he's one of the better ones. And like, we feel like we have to have some point of empathy. And so we do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Aoyama. I don't. Like,
Right.
he's doing some bad things, but I'm like, he's
Right.
like fundamentally feels like a decent person. And it's like,
Right.
it just kind of makes me think of that, like
It's
it's all on a
no.
continuum, and the
I
continuum, yeah, it's all on a
it's so
continuum.
but it is such like an interesting like a topical thing that's like happening and just broke
Hmm.
like what like how many days ago, and the fact that that was
Yeah,
also something that's like in like 62 million, right? You'd think we would have known about it.
right.
The fact that that was kept secret and these things are happening
Hmm.
in like the corners
Yeah,
or
it's
like
like
seemingly right in front of us, and then to
right, like
have like
you don't
men
have to
like
be you don't have to be one of the people actively using the site to just like statistically math wise, you got to know somebody who is.
I
And like how has
know.
that information not come out? And like yeah, it's
Yeah,
again the
yeah.
continuum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great actually great and horrifying. Great connection. Great connective
It's like,
tissue of like something that's very real world to us right now applied to these. Listen, men listening, I want to burn everyone. Burn it all down.
like also
Start all
like any men listening to us, given how much time we spend talking about like wanting men to be quiet, like y'all have to be some pretty good patient ones, and like we love you. And also I think it is important to talk about like the continuum of shittiness. Like
Yeah,
I think
and
we need
continue
to.
to check other males because then you get
Yeah.
scenarios like this. And guess what? We're all gonna start. You know what I actually said? Because you just reminded me of what I said. I feel like I like again. I was so at the end of it. I was like, we all after that article because I watched this like a
Mhm.
couple days
Mhm.
after. I watched this pretty early
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
I was like, we all need to start doing this. We all need to
Yes.
be her. That's what
Yeah.
we all need to fucking everyone needs to watch this movie, and this is what we're gonna
Um
start doing
put
to
put a
all
pin
62 million men.
put a pin in that. I'm not even
Okay.
kidding.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm gonna
um
put a pin in a fictional man, not myself for that one,
Love.
but I will put a pin.
Perfect. Very into that. Um, okay, so back into the screenplay. A note on the ending. Did you read the ending as happening in real life or as being a hallucination?
Okay, that was a big point. I choose to
Mm-hmm.
believe that he was so out of it that that was what he hallucinated to be true, and I choose to believe that she is alive and well and happy and she killed him.
I
So
love
I felt
that.
it was up for interpretation, and that's what I interpreted because I don't believe that's how it should end. So that
Um,
is my take.
Most viewers agree with you that it is up for
Okay.
interpretation.
But it's
Mike
not.
and Murakami do not. I
No. I
know,
mean,
I'm so sorry.
I don't choose to believe that, and that's fine. That's not
But
my
listen, we don't
reality.
have to listen. Um,
Interesting though, I didn't know that. I
yeah.
actually thought that I would be what they intended the audience to feel.
Well, because it is very the way it's portrayed, you can read it a lot of different ways.
Mhm. Mhm.
But both of them say that they intend it to be real, not
Okay.
imaginary.
Okay.
And Murakami
Ooh.
also adds that in the book, not only is it real, um, both
Wow.
his feet get cut off instead of just one.
Hey, that's
And
okay though.
and
That's a win.
Murakami says that if you watch really closely, you can kind of see that the same thing happens in this one, which I'm not sure if I saw this right because again, I
Oh.
watched it in the bathtub. I saw it on a somewhat small screen.
Yeah.
I had my laptop propped up in the other side of the room. But I think that when he checks his feet, I think he checked the wrong one. I could be wrong about that. But like I
Oh.
think that it's his left foot that gets cut off, and when he wakes up in bed, he checks his right foot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Which,
Okay.
like, of course, then that's also dream sequence. Like, there's a whole lot that's up for interpretation, yada yada
Yeah.
yada. But also, two random notes on translation that I thought were really interesting, because obviously we're both watching this
Mm-hmm.
entirely subtitled, but the subtitles are going to change a little bit from version to version, and there are some
Mm.
parts that did not get subtitles, and one of these, Mike actually points out on the audio. He's like, they probably are not going to subtitle this for you because it's not even like legible in Japanese. But what
Okay.
the man with no tongue is trying to say is give me food. I know. I know.
No.
Give me food. Yeah. Which, like, even if, like, I feel like it
Good.
adds
I kind of
something to
got
know
that,
that.
I feel like I kind of got that
um,
gist. Oh.
he's also, Mika confirms that he is the guy from the record company who disappeared a year ago. That's who that is.
Okay, yeah, that's who I
Which, like, I feel like
just
it's
assumed
implied.
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
But
they did a
some,
good job with that, to be fair.
yeah, some nice confirmation there.
Yeah.
And speaking of subtitles, did your subtitles put anything underneath the like kitty 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 kitty?
Put anything
Did they
underneath?
translate it?
I
Like,
don't think
was there like
so.
an English, or did it just leave it as like
I
the
don't think so, because I
sound?
think I wondered what it was. What does it mean?
Oh,
Does it
that's
mean
so
I don't
fascinating.
say
So
what it I'm
it's
blanking
Kiri,
'cause
kitty, 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 kitty.
I think that's what
Um,
it's okay. What does that mean?
so oh my God, this was like this was one of the biggest differences that I had watching it this time, because when I watched it on the big screen,
Mhm.
that version did not subtitle that either. It just said kitty, kitty, kitty.
Yeah.
In this version that I watched, it said deeper, 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 deeper.
Oh.
And Mike talks about this on his commentary and says, like, I have no idea how they're going to translate this, because basically what it is, and like what he intended it as, is an onomatopoeia for the sound of the needles going in, of that like squish sound. That's like squish,
Oh.
squish, 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 squish.
Ew.
So they
Yeah.
translated it as like
Oh.
deeper, 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 deeper. But like, I
Oh.
honestly don't know which of those is worse.
It's all I mean, that
It's all so bad.
noise and how cute she was saying it.
Mhm.
That was like that's my kinda sick humor, man. That
Yeah,
is
it's
peak my like, that is my humor summed up in a visual on screen. So I love
so
that
bad.
that was their intent, that to make it sound like
Mhm.
the
It's so gross. And
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
loved it.
I
The
know it
needles didn't
wouldn't
bother
actually
me.
be. Well, and they're acupuncture needles too, which is
Yeah.
super interesting. Like, it's like, if, as Mike
Yeah,
jokes
but they're
on the
going
audio, yeah, he's like,
going
this
in.
is like a pretty healthy form of torture, unless you go in this deep. That might be a problem.
Or slide across them like that. That was
Oh,
amazing.
yeah,
Her
her like
scooching up.
leaning.
I
Oh,
was like,
and
"Girl,
she
don't
looks
hurt
so
yourself."
hot doing
I
it.
know.
Like,
She was like I was mesmerized by
oh
her,
my
and that
God.
outfit really was like
That
if
pleated
I see a
white skirt.
cosplayer doing that with the
Yeah.
rubber, I just
Oh yeah. The
how
rubber apron and
real.
the rubber
Yeah.
gloves and ugh.
Yeah. It was
Ugh.
amazing. I feel like in the way that
Yeah.
people, sexualize Pyramid Head, where are all my
That's my
cosplayers
pyramid head. Yeah,
doing
that is my
her at a
pyramid
cosplay?
head.
Where you at? Can somebody please
Um,
do that, please?
I
My
honestly,
god.
if y'all can help me locate the pieces, I might do that for the next
Oh my
Morgan
god.
Crypt.
You
Um,
absolutely
I'll do
should.
like
It's
straight hair
such a
and all
good
that.
outfit. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, you'd be perfect
Um,
for that. That's
okay,
somebody send a
pin
pics if you have it.
pin in the head.
Oh,
So
another
now
pin?
moving into so many pins. Moving into themes, approach, and history. Despite how much crew this film shares with movies like Ju-on, which, like, again, more on that coming soon, Takashi Miike specifically says that he does not see this film as being in the same category as those, and he doesn't
Mm.
actually even consider it horror, which is like so silly.
Okay.
Why?
I can hear him out.
And like, I also, it's partially cultural, because like, as he mentions that there's no supernatural element.
Mhm,
And that's
mhm,
in Japanese horror at the time. Almost all horror has this kind of
mhm.
supernatural element. Which, yeah, that's especially the ones that cross over into America. It's usually the ones like Ringu, like Ju-on, that have that kind of a twist. And he mentions, there's not really a whole lot of jump scares. But like,
Mhm.
God, the jump scares you do have. Like, each of them
Yeah.
counts for like 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
For his part, author Murakami does think that it's horror, but thinks that it's a different kind of horror than either a ghost story or like a knife wielding type of horror, which
Mhm,
like
mhm.
I think
Cautionary
like a
tale horror.
slasher. Yeah, exactly. It's very it has almost like a Grimm's fairy tale type of feeling to it of
Mm,
like
mhm.
yeah, that kind of like larger than life. If you do evil, evil will
Yeah.
happen to you.
Yeah, karmic horror.
Um and Mike talks a whole lot about really wanting the first half to be very slow because he wants you to like relax into it. And to feel like it's part of a different, more traditional movie, which clearly worked for you.
Mhm, mhm.
And he's also trying to really build up this sense of loneliness, which is a lot of what came across to me on this second watch is like, yeah, you really feel how isolated Aoyama is, even though there's like clearly a lot of people around him, like his secretary, who are trying to get closer to him. He
Right,
like
right.
does not know how to accept it or chooses not to accept it. Um, and part of the reason that Mike wants that kind of like really stark difference between the first half and the second half, is that um he wants it to kind of take you by surprise when that second half hits and even make you feel quote unquote cheated or betrayed, because you think you know where it's going and it
Yeah,
doesn't go that way,
yeah.
which like very true. And he fascinatingly notes that female viewers in particular seem to feel extra disgusted, betrayed, taken aback by the ending, which put
Mm.
a
Oh,
pin in
yeah.
that. um he even honestly like encourages you, if any of you listening, I don't know why you would be listening this far in, you shouldn't be if you haven't seen it, but he says that like if you are watching and you feel like you need to shut it off, he encourages you to turn it off and walk away and watch in more than one viewing if you need to, which like
Oh, I kind of
I
love
love
that. He's like, I
that,
get it.
right? Yeah, he's like, I
That's
made
really
something
interesting.
gross.
Uh-huh.
I relish the
Yeah.
grossness. Um,
I'm honored if you turn it off.
right? Wildest adaptation fact that I found though, he wanted the film to end right when the torture's about to begin, which like thank God he was talked out of that. Thank
Oh my God.
God. The producers talked him out of that. He jokes that they were like,
Yeah.
"Be a man." He was like, "Okay, fine." um but like he says, quote, "I thought pain was something the couple could share together. In other words, their love was fulfilled. This is how I remember the movie should end. No matter how much it hurts, the next morning will always turn out to be surprisingly boring." And he goes on to
Hmm.
describe it as not a horror movie, but a love letter, which, like, I read
Hmm.
that before rewatching it, and I was like, I have no fucking idea what he's saying. And then I rewatched
Yeah.
it, and I was like, okay, that last minute though, when they're both lying on the floor,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he kind of, yes,
It's
it
I
is.
it really, and it's like the voiceover is basically just this love letter. He's playing back like
Yeah.
these things that she said to him, and it's like the we could have been. Like even after
Hmm.
like I know he seems horrified in that like dream flashback, whatever, and I'm just like, but I feel like he still was like, but we could have worked.
No, you're right. Mike actually says on the commentary that the actor playing Aoyama told him that what he had in his mind while they were shooting that scene was that he really wanted to reach out to Asami and just couldn't, and that he would just like desperately
That would
wanted
have
to
been
touch her.
amazing.
I
That would have been
know.
amazing.
So like you're
Oh,
picking
that
up
would have
on
done things
it.
to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's
Yeah. Oh,
really,
that's really
really upsetting.
interesting. That's
Um,
so interesting.
yeah, that really, really got to me. And one last like themes tidbit before we dive into the production. Um, the critic Robin Wood, who I brought in on the podcast before, wrote this really interesting essay breaking down a whole bunch of parallels between Audition and Vertigo, which I was like, what?
Oh, I
What?
haven't
What are
seen
you doing?
Vertigo.
Oh my God,
Oh,
that's so
no.
wild. I think I can tell you all of these things without it spoiling anything.
Oh, you can
Um,
spoil it for me.
I genuinely
you can
don't
turn
think
off your ears, guys, if you don't want it spoiled, but I'm okay to be spoiled.
the like 70-plus-year-old movie.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like at this point, all of us who haven't seen it, like, it just, it's fine. I'm fine. It's not going to ruin the watch experience for me.
It's not like Audition where knowing
Yeah.
any of these things would make it harder to enjoy. And I think it might make you more
Now's your
interested
warning.
to know this
Now's your
parallel.
warning.
Yeah. But so
Okay.
both start with a prelude set in the past. Both have similarly unmoored male protagonists who fall for female protagonists who aren't quite what they seem. Both have alternate love interests for the male main character who that main character pushes away in order to follow the female main character who isn't what she seems. Both have kind of like devil figures who tempt the main male character into trouble. And both kind of seem like you're seeing the woman die and the man survive at the end, but leave it ambiguous.
Ooh, now I want to really watch where to go.
That's like a large number of, and like they're very different movies, like tonally in terms of the feeling they leave you with. But when you look at it like that, it's like, wow, that's actually quite a bit in common.
Wildly so. I was expecting like a couple things, but
yeah, no, it's like kind of all of the plot beats, even if none of the execution.
Yeah.
So moving into production, shockingly shot in Tokyo.
Oh my gosh.
I know, gasp. Unlike yours though, I believe this one was entirely on location. I at least couldn't find any mentions of anything being on a set. The restaurant is a real restaurant, the apartment is a real apartment. So, and it feels like it to me.
It feels like it feels lived in.
Yeah. And the whole shoot lasted just 3 weeks, which, although crazy in itself, even crazier, that was a week longer than Miike's films usually shot for. He shot most of his features in 2 weeks.
This is why this man is pumping out like 3 years. Like,
it's crazy.
My work here is done. I can move on to the next and then be in post or whatever.
Exactly.
God, what's his schedule look like? That's insane. What a silly little guy. What a silly little genius.
He's just a silly little man. Yeah.
What a fucked up, weird little man. I want to see more of his films.
What a character. I'm also just like, especially after seeing Hostel and watching these interviews, I'm just like so taken in by him as a person. Like he's very charismatic.
Yes. Yes.
I found very little budget info. I did the best I could. I saw one number in one place, but it's from the movie database, and that doesn't have any source listed for it. So I'm like, take with a giant grain of salt.
Sure.
Do you want to take a guess? I'm not going to fault you if you're wrong, because like, again, we have no idea if this is accurate or not. But
I'm like $1 million. I don't know. I feel like you're just like,
you're in the right family. Like, it's very cheap. The figure I saw was $250K.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like $500,000 too, even. Just to, yeah. Okay,
that makes real cheap,
and I feel like that's got to be roughly correct.
Especially like if you're only shooting for 3 weeks, that's
and like you have
about right.
Like you just shoot on location. You don't really have to like. Who knows how much he's like set dress stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although
Very
the one piece that I'm like, I desperately need to know where they found or made this from is the bed frame with the spiral bedposts. Like, oh my god, that thing is so unsettling, and I want it.
Oh my god, I have to like. I don't know if that stuck out hard for me.
Oh my god,
I have to look up the bed frame.
When they're on vacation at the like hotel and he like sees her naked for the first time, the bedposts like go up to the ceiling and they're like wobbly and like twisted down it's like gross. It's really upsetting. This like weird like Tim Burton touch in the middle of all this realism. I love it.
I totally there was so much to look at. So
it is a feast. So anyway, $250K, somewhere in that general vicinity, feels like a safe guess. Cast and crew. So obviously, with a film titled Audition, we have to talk about the audition process.
Yay!
So remember how I mentioned that Siena came from the world of modeling, and this is only your second film? The story of how that came to be the case is pretty fun. According to an interview she gave on the Blu-ray, which is not the one that I have, so I wasn't able to double check this. I had to go off of secondary sources, which is why I don't have quotes here, so I apologize. But she basically first first got asked to act while she was on vacation. Somebody just like scouted her in this very
Oh,
like
wow.
1940s style for her first role. So she just kind of like stumbles into it. And then she finds out about Miike through his film Blues Harp, which she really likes, and she's like, I want to work with this director.
Mhm.
And so they meet up 2 times. The first time, he asks her a whole bunch of questions about how she views love and relationships.
Oh.
The second time, he just straight up offers her the role.
Oh my
And in
god.
retrospect, she thinks that it's because of the answers she gave to those questions, which, like, I'm like, what the fuck did she say in that first meeting to get this
Yeah.
part off of those answers?
Yeah.
But, and so, like, as a result, she tries to play the role in this, like, really natural, underrated way, which, like, yeah, it feels very
Mhm.
real. But more on that later. First, we
Oh
get
god.
Miike's side of the story, which is completely different.
Yes. Yes.
He says that, like, no, we auditioned her. He's like, it was a very quote unquote high level audition, but we auditioned her, which was terrifying for this role. Like, to
Mhm.
audition somebody to play this part
Sure.
and go through that is like, our what kind of life imitates art shit is gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Um, but so he says, obviously, like they do then go, he has a list of 10 actors that he has in mind. He doesn't want actors who are super experienced in screen acting because he likes to have a lot of different backgrounds on the set. He wants like a collection of people who are at the top of their
Ooh,
game in a lot of different fields, but not necessarily in this field. And so he's like, she's a
interesting.
supermodel. She is at the top of her field, but not in this field.
Huh.
Perfect. Fascinating approach, right?
Throwing people off their access and really getting some, like,
Yeah.
real reactions, I'm assuming,
It's
probably
a
from that.
really interesting style. And it clearly fucking pays off here.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so clearly it seems like whatever conversation they had obviously went well, but according to Miike, he knew he was going to cast her from the moment she walked into the room just from looking at her facial expressions, which I think is probably true.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
usually what does it. Like
That's so
it's
funny.
happening in those first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So just had to give our little audition tales, our contrasting audition tales. And Takashi notes, or Miike notes rather, that Ishibashi, our rock star lead, Aoyama,
Yes.
our shared actor, was particularly interesting casting. This is where we get to pull the pin out of him because in
Oh,
real life, so he's like a very down to earth family man in his personal life. He like has a wife and kids. He goes home to them every day. But on screen, he's not only a rock star, like an actual rock star in Japan, he's also in his screen world primarily playing yakuza roles because he's very tall and very like a physically imposing
funny.
presence,
So
and he
wildly
was
different.
and he was getting sick of it and sick of being typecast, and so Miike says that he
Whoa.
thinks that was part of why he agreed to play the role.
Yeah,
um
because it was something so different, and boy, does he
mhm.
that's so funny because I, like, know him from this,
Right.
and so I'm like, "Oh my god, now I wanna see him play
I
like a
know, a
bad scary
gangster?
badass."
Yeah, because he feels so genuine. I think that's his performance is such a big part of why we empathize with the character because you really feel like, yeah, he's doing some really morally questionable things, but he's just a
He's
broken little guy.
I feel like
Like,
if he's just slapped the right way, he'll get it
yeah,
together.
exactly. And like, honestly, I think he'd probably agree
And
with
it
you.
kind of like
Like,
he just maybe it was pins and getting his,
yeah.
tootsies cut off.
Yeah.
But that could have
Maybe that
worked
was the
too,
slap. Yeah. And I feel
Just
like the
really
ending kind
aggressive.
of gives you that sense that like he
Yeah.
might get his life on
I
track
think he's
after
gonna get it.
this.
I think he
Yeah.
isn't gonna
Get a
pull
fake
this shit
foot and get his
again
life on
after
track.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he learned his lesson. Um
It's so wild. Oh my god.
love. So now we get into the proper making of. Cinematography is by Hideo Yamamoto, who also shot Ichi the Killer with him, also shot Happiness of
Mm.
Katakuris with him, shot Fireworks, The Naked Director, One Missed Call, Ring 2, and the 2004 The Grudge. We shared
I
a
figured
cinematographer.
I almost
Hmm.
looked up the cinematographer and I was like, I
Yep.
know Siena's gonna bring this. I knew that was one of them. Very cool. Holy
And not
shit.
only that,
I
I
see
found
it.
out really interesting stuff about him that makes sense for your film too, because Miike brings in like a great Also, like, weirdly personally revealing. I'm like, was Yamamoto okay with you saying this on mic?
Oh, no.
Mike says that part of the reason why he thinks Yamamoto has such a strong, like, approach to this material is that he's, quote, very sensitive towards death. Both of his parents died very young, and it's not
Aw.
something that he talks about much. He goes on living with his cool, calm exterior, but underneath, I think he's feeling like he might die soon. He's living in fear, and that sensibility comes through in his work. It's something I want to make the most of. So in that sense, I give him the freedom that he needs to do things his way. I just give him the basic information, camera angle, and so forth.
Oh my
Which I'm
god.
like, wow,
I
that's
would have been like, bro.
yeah.
Zip
You
it.
just said that I don't talk about this. Like,
Oh my
perhaps you should
god.
not either.
That's so
Um,
funny.
but it also, like, especially with yours, with like this young family dying, like, I feel
Mhm.
like that it seems like that deathly cinematography comes through there too.
Yeah, I definitely see the again, it's very like, and I don't say this as a slight. This is like a high compliment. It's like there's
Mhm.
some very beautifully done textbook shots that are
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
which a lot of people cannot get right. They
Mhm.
look textbook in a bad, I
Right.
don't know how to say that in like a complimentary way, but like I see the crossover with the
I
way
th-
that this could be
I
the same
think
cinematographer.
I think it's almost like the camera is doing almost the same thing that Asami is doing, where it's like it is so perfect, it is so clean, it is so like
Mhm.
all in white, it is so like organized and
Mhm.
linear and like doing all of the right things that it gives you this unearthly sense that there is something deeply off underneath the
Yeah.
surface.
Yeah.
Um
Absolutely.
like the camera is being her almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a couple shots we get that are actually from, from her
Which are
perspective, right? Which
so
is so
good. Oh,
delightful.
yeah.
Um, a lot of people have also noted that Mike's visual style, not just in this film, but kind of in general, has a lot in common with manga and graphic novels, which I think is like a
Ooh.
really interesting point. And it's like very easy to picture a lot of these shots as like panels in a comic.
Yeah.
So kind of a fun little lens to view it through. I don't know if he's like a big fan of manga or comics, but it's like you can
I
see the stylistic.
I feel like he is because there's also some like
Hmm.
really some of the gore and
Feels comic book. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Our production designer is Tatsuo Zeki, who also PD'd Shinjuku Triad Society, Ju-on: The Beginning of the End, um, Graveyard of Honor, and one that I had to shout out just because I like the title that's called What's for Dinner, Mom? Um,
We always gotta throw in the fun ones because sometimes
and I'm pretty sure that's a Mike film too. I'll need to triple check, but like I
if
think
it
that
is,
What's
I'm
for Dinner,
watching that
Mom
one
is
next.
Mike, right?
That's my
Happiness of the
next watch.
Categories, and then What's for Dinner, Mom?
Yeah.
Um, and he was also the set decorator for, you guessed it, the 2004 The Grudge and The Grudge 2. So same set decorator who PD'd mine.
Yeah.
Not quite
That's
in the
really
same
cool.
position, but same eye, same hands.
Mhm.
And I like that they had a Japanese set decorator. I feel like that's
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. Yeah.
For yours.
Yeah. I was gonna
Um,
say, yeah, this is nice to hear.
right. And let's see. My screen just pulled up a whole bunch of texts that I don't want to have visible right now.
It's the
Sorry.
ghosts.
It's the ghosts. So let's see. What order do I want to do these in? Oh,
Ooh.
ooh. Okay, yes. I'll keep this in the order that I have it in. So now we get to the climax, to that, last, I would say probably 15 minutes. Once we're
Yes.
like,
Past the.
he is incapacitated and on the
Mhm.
floor and being tortured.
Mhm.
Um, so first of all, that Kiri that we love so very, very much
Yes.
and heard about the origins of, added during production, not in the script. It was largely
Oh.
the actress's invention. Like, she was working with Mike, but that was just like her getting really fucking in character, which
Oh,
I
so she was the sick
love.
sense of humor that I
Yes.
loved.
Yes. Like, I'm sure it
Oh.
was collaborative.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, of
she
course. I'm sure he was like dying hearing this from her. He's like, "Oh my god, you're the same as
yeah.
me."
No, there's like on the audio commentary, he's like
I love
over a
that.
shot of her as she's like leaning on the needles to like push them in. And he's
Yeah.
like, by the way, none of this is like my directing. This is all just she got very into character and just did her own thing. And I'm like,
Oh,
yes, Takashi.
oh. She was just
um
overcome with like, if God, I mean, she
mhm.
really just let the she really did what we all wanted to do in that moment.
Yes, good
So
for her.
good for her.
She also when they first started working on the scene, she was whispering all of her lines, and she and Mike came together to the conclusion that it was better if she just like speak them very calmly because it feels even
Mm,
scarier, which I
it
agree. It's like there's
is.
no sense of like regret, remorse, shame. It's just like, why would I be quiet? I'm saying
She's
what's
like,
right.
yeah, she's like a cat with a mouse. Like, what's the problem?
Yes.
I have this, and there's
Yes.
nothing wrong with this. My plaything.
Mhm. And, like, as you're describing, like, he must have been having such a good time, Ishibashi, who plays Aoyama, confirms
Mhm.
it. He remembers Mike having, like, the best time as they were shooting the torture scene, and that he really especially like, Takashi's favorite part of the entire process was when the feet get cut off, which I was
Oh
like,
my
very
God.
Annie Wilkes of him.
Oh,
Very
I know.
Misery.
It gave me misery. It was so, I'm
Mhm.
like, what did misery was before.
Misery came
But
first, yeah.
oh my God, yeah, it reminded me so much of that, but this sickened me in a different way like that.
Mhm.
The wire was so
I
satisfying, and seeing it coiled
oh,
after she pulled it was like
yeah.
also just a really good like, I'm like, what did they do to actually have
I
it
know.
coil
I feel
after?
like they
Because I was
must
like,
have
that was
used it to actually
genius.
slice meat, cause
Right?
like, it's
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking. It felt, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it looks, like, worn out, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh my god,"
And
and
it
they also
would.
yeah, and, like, the sound effect is incredible.
Oh,
Mike's
it's so
really
good.
proud of that, like, wire squeaking sound.
Oh my
He
God.
doesn't
I would
sure
have
what
been
they did, but
yeah, I would have been giggling too. I'm
oh my
so
god,
like,
yeah. He's
he
so
just got
delighted.
cinematic gold, you know?
Mhm. Also really interesting about the way that scene is edited, Mike actually slows down the pace of the cuts in that torture scene to make you feel like it's actually happening in real time, whereas the cuts in the
Ooh.
rest of the movie are much swifter, which is the exact opposite of what you
Yeah.
usually see in a climax, where it's like, oh, lots of action, lots of horror, lots of violence, cut it
Mhm.
really fast, like the psycho shower scene. This does the
Yeah, yeah.
exact opposite. It's like, we're gonna really sit
It's
with every moment of this. Which brings us to the special effects makeup,
yes.
which is by Yuichi Matsui, who also did special effects makeup for Kill Bill Volume 1. Very cool. Pulse, 13 Assassins, Ichi the Killer, Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, Dark Water, Happiness of the
Mm.
Katakuris, Ringu, so we've
Oh,
covered him before.
yeah.
Hmm.
And he's on the other
And
2, yeah, the other 2, J-horse that came over.
exactly.
Nice.
And he did the sequel Ring 2, he did Cure, which I'm like newly obsessed with and really want us to cover at some point. It's like kind of it's not as gory as Audition, but it's another J horror that's not supernatural that I just watched really recently
Mm.
that just like I can't stop thinking about it, Al. It's so good.
Ooh. Okay, I'll check that
So
out.
I know we need to like give it a second before another J horror pairing, but like I feel like our
You're like,
audience would really
1
enjoy
second.
that one. Yes. 1 second on the clock, that's it, and now it's done. Um he also did special effects makeup for your film and The Grudge too.
Cool.
Pretty clearly a
Yeah.
giant figure in Japanese SFX makeup, and
Mhm.
Mike is clearly very proud of him. He people like are asking him all the time about like how they shot the needle scene, and he's like,
Yeah.
we have good special effects makeup people. They're very careful.
Oh my
um,
God.
I'm
That's
like,
a
he's
perfect answer,
so
though. He's like, "We're
catty. I love it.
professionals."
Yeah, he's like, we actually care about what we're doing, and so it looks good. Like,
I was gonna
um,
say that's what Sarah Michelle Gellar, one of the few good things she said. She talked about working in Japan versus Hollywood, and she said Hollywood
mm,
sets, I'm so used to CGI and not seeing stuff, and she was
mhm,
like, it was such a nice experience to be able to like see things and touch things and have
mhm.
things be practical. So she
Oh
gave it up
yes.
to uh
Oh my gosh,
what was his
Yuichi
name?
Matsui.
Thank you. Kind
Mhm.
of gave it up to them for what they did on the
I
production. So
love
that's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
There's like this hilarious bit on the commentary where it's as the creepy uncle in the wheelchair,
Yes.
as he's getting his head cut off. Mike is like,
Oh
he's
no.
like, now this is actually a very interesting shot. You see, this actor has an unusual feature where his neck is an extra inch and a half thick on each side, so being strangled like this doesn't hurt him at all. Then he just like pauses for a second and he's like, nah, it's special effects makeup.
I love him. I
I
feel like
know.
he would intimidate the hell out of me to be in a room
Oh
with.
my
Like, I
god,
wouldn't be able to
yeah.
speak to him, but a panel with him, I would
Would be a
absolutely like send me.
delight. Yeah.
That's
Well, and see,
so funny.
that's the one in particular where I'm like, I don't know whether or not to believe him about the real vomit or not when he's saying shit like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Who
his
knows?
neck was just an extra inch and a half thick,
Just
so he
kidding.
could be strangled easily.
Oh my
And
god.
he delivers it so deadpan too. Like,
Yeah,
obviously, I don't
yeah.
speak back Japanese, but you can hear the tone of voice on the
Yeah.
audio, and it's like it's so funny.
This is why
Um,
what's his name? Tarantino likes him so much because he's
yeah.
just like fucked up. And I'm sure Tarantino believes everything that comes out of his mouth. And Mike's
Oh,
like, I'm just fucking with
absolutely.
you, my guy.
Yeah,
You're a freak.
100%.
I'm actually just fucking with you.
Yeah. No, his neck is not actually an inch and a
Yeah.
half thick. Um, but we do actually hear how they shot the eyeball scene, which I'm very glad that I could find that. And it's like disgusting.
Ooh.
Um, they created a very thin mask layer that laid directly over his actual eyeballs,
Mm.
like including going over the eye itself, it sounds
Wow.
like, so
Wow.
that they could
Like a
be very
contact.
carefully yeah, like a contact that then covers like the skin too,
Ooh.
almost. That could be pierced by needles, but like god,
That'd be terrifying.
imagine, yeah, I am so impressed that he was able to stay there with that attached to his face for that long. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I wear
ugh.
contacts. I'm not like eyeball stuff doesn't get me as much as like fingernails and like being pulled
Mm-hmm.
and rips, but like as an actor to have to do that and then hope everything
So
goes well, because I'm like,
impressive.
your
Yeah.
eye could be stabbed and that's
Yeah.
terrifying to like
Ugh.
hurt your eyeball in any way. So wow.
Another place with great sound effects too, the like squish sound as it goes in.
Yeah, that's
Disgusting.
great.
It's so good. Um Composer is Koji Endo, who also did 13 Assassins, Mojin the Lost Legend, Osaka Hamlet, Izo, Happiness of the Katakuris, the original One Missed Call, and One Missed Call 2.
Mm.
Um, I had a comment there as if I was going to continue that, and I did not. Great. Moving into release, we're kind of rounding the corner. How much do we have? Not totally rounding the corner. There's actually like a pretty decent chunk after this, but I'm gonna speed through the release and reception so that we can get on to the interesting film theory rant corner debate. So, uh, very hard to find accurate box office numbers for this movie. I'm not even gonna make you guess because like I saw different figures.
Yeah.
The one I saw that seemed most reliable was according to IMDb, and it says that it made 385,000 worldwide.
Okay.
So, which I mean, it sounds like it maybe just broke even,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know this film, obviously, this film did very well in the home video market.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, just like in terms of scale from yours to mine, like this had a much smaller reach. It premiered at the Vancouver International Film Festival, which is a personal
Oh.
fave, in the fall of 1999, and it was part of a slate of J horror there, where it showed alongside Ringu and The Ring 2. And
No.
Mike recalls those like first few screenings and says, quote, I still remember the expression of the elderly lady who went out to find me in the darkness of the movie theater when I was watching with a customer at a film festival and said, "You are sick." To be honest, I was more scared of her expression than my movie.
Oh my god, that's incredible. Like, what a compliment for him.
What I know, he loved that shit. It then goes on to the Rotterdam Film Festival, where it plays as part of a Mike retrospective, which just tells you how many films he'd been making that he could already have a retrospective at this
Wow.
point. Um,
Yeah.
Picks up steam from word of mouth there, wins a Critics' Prize, opens in Japan in March of 2000, which is probably
Mm.
where you saw 2000 as the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
year.
yeah. Yes. Okay, that
Um,
makes sense.
but according to Mike himself, like nobody there really notices it until it starts getting attention in America, which is sad. It
Oh.
premieres in the US at the Seattle International Film Festival in May, but then doesn't come out in US theaters until August of 2001, under the Metro Tartan label. And Tartan Video is like the home distro arm that brought, like, Tartan Videos is what brought
Yeah.
most of the J horror to American audiences. J horror and K horror both. They picked up a lot of. They had a label called Tartan Asia Extreme that released a lot
Oh,
of stuff like this.
funny.
So if you're looking for more stuff like this, you can like do a quick Google search of Tartan Asia Extreme titles, and it'll bring up a whole lot of stuff that is
Oh,
in
that's
this
so cool.
general ballpark. Um, if you are looking to own your own physical copy, I do not recommend this one. It is a terrible transfer. I recommend the Arrow Blu-ray from it's a 2K remaster that was done from a 35 mil interpositive. So that one's like
Oh,
in better
cool.
condition. This one's like very fuzzy looking.
Oh,
Special
weird.
features were great, but just like the
Yeah.
image quality left
I
a lot
want a
to be
copy so
desired.
bad.
I actually got this one for myself for my birthday last year, when I was
Oh.
in LA at Amoeba Records, and I
Oh,
still have the
I love
price tag
Amoeba.
on it. It's the only reason I remember where it's from.
Yeah.
And this film, how do you think audiences / critics received this?
I have I feel like people like, because it's such a weird, and you said he wasn't really like doing horror stuff prior, right?
No, that's not what he was known for.
I don't know. I mean, they're like, I feel like it's one of two extremes. Well, obviously, that's a stupid fucking thing to say. I'm gonna just swing and say people hated it. They loved it, did they?
People loved it.
Ah,
People
I
loved
knew that's why I was
it.
like, I'm gonna say they hated it and they loved it. Yeah,
People
damn.
loved
Well,
it.
good. They should.
Interestingly, American critics from the get-go were a little bit more positive than Japanese critics, but everybody loved it.
Okay. Good.
Currently
Good.
holds an 81% from critics and an 80% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, so like everybody's in agreement there. And people especially obviously focus on the climactic scene. I saw one critic say that it, quote, makes Stephen King's Misery look wholesome, which, like,
Truly.
yes. Robin Wood, who I brought in earlier with the Vertigo comparison, says
Yeah.
that, quote, it is one of those few films, like Pasolini's 120 Days of Sodom, that are almost as unwatchable as the newsreels of Auschwitz, of the innocent victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and of Vietnam, victims of Nazi or American dehumanization, which today, under President Bush, seems not so far apart.
Oh my God. Girl, wait. Girl, just wait. Oh my God.
I know. I'm like, oh, it's bad under Bush. Jesus Christ. Imagine where we're going. In Japanese papers, I know, truly. What that never thought I'd think of those as the good days. It wasn't the good days. Let's be very clear. We're just in the even worse days now.
It was not, yeah.
In Japanese papers, meanwhile, one critic wrote, quote, Asami's wheelchair-bound ballet instructor is a reminder of where many other Miike films have headed, straight for the video racks. But Audition, which won International Critics Prize at this year's Rotterdam Film Festival, proves that Miike is ready for a bigger role as one of the leading Japanese directors of his generation, which ends up being really prophetic. He is now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I thought maybe it was one of those that like crawled, like got really visceral, like weird reviews, and then crawled to cult status, and now people regard it as something good. But it's nice to hear that out the gate.
Yeah, even at the time.
Good. Yeah, I was expecting it to be like horrible at first, and then now everyone is like, oh my God, it's so
that
great.
would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's refreshing that it got the respect
I'm surprised.
that it did. And like even that, like, I disagree about the ballet instructor. I find him deeply, deeply frightening and a really important part of the movie. But like even there where he's like, there's one thing that didn't work for me, but like this guy's going places. Like,
yeah, I can't believe
that
that
tells
part
you
didn't
something.
work. That part, like,
I know,
truly horrified me.
ugh,
That was like right.
Yeah, right when it's starting, right when it's all starting.
I was gonna say that's like he's like right below the vomit scene for me.
Agreed, especially like the shots of him approaching with like the tongs,
crawling.
God, yeah, smiling and crawling. Ugh, so gross. And okay, so we've just talked like about a whole bunch of other people's responses. Now we need to hear about Miike's response because, as usual, he's the funniest one in the room. as you could imagine, a lot of people question him about the violence in the movie. We heard an example of that a second ago. And he says that, quote, "It's more about whether we're having a good time while we're making the film. That's what it's all about. So it's not really for the audience's sake.
Oh my
Rather, it's
God.
more for my own." Which, like,
Just
God, I
start saying
love
that now.
him.
Yeah.
I
You know what?
know.
It's for me.
It's not
for
for
you.
you. I had a really
I
good
want to make
time
the
making
film.
it, so fuck off.
Yeah, I wanted to make a film. I guess you can watch it.
Up to you, really.
That's
That's completely
so
outside of my
funny. He's
control.
so sassy.
He's so sassy. And on a related note, while he thinks it's like cool enough that Western audiences start watching his work because of this one, he also like really wants to drive home the point that he does not care. And that is not who he's making films for. He says, quote, "Basically, we Japanese filmmakers are developing our work inward, which I think leads to and spreads to the outside. In all the films I've made, I've not been cognizant of what non-Japanese audiences would feel. I thought more about what I would feel or about what people around me would feel. I think I was moving the process further inward." And he has even some sassier quotes that I didn't bring in where he's talking about like, why would I care what American thinks?
I mean, truly, no one should
which,
ever
like,
care what American thinks.
you're so right. You're so right, Mike. As an American, you should not care what we think.
Yeah.
And like on a final reception note, Mike and Murakami had like really good receptions of each other's work, so much so
Aw.
that they were planning to work together on another Mike directed adaptation of a Murakami novel called Coin
Oh,
Locker Babies, but it never got financing, which is a damn shame because I'm like, I
dang.
really want to see this pair at
That
it
would have been
again.
really cool. Oh man,
hmm
bummer.
We have two more brief sections, one on influence and one on film criticism question mark rant corner. So biggest influence obviously is torture porn. This is a precursor to the genre. People immediately point out similarities when Saw comes out. I think the like foot severing is hard to ignore, although it's also
Oh
pretty
yeah, wildly
although it's also
different though.
and especially like Saw is so much less gory than this. Like this is so
Yeah,
much gorier
right.
than Saw, which is funny because a lot of articles comparing them in retrospect are like, this is so much more careful with its violence than Saw. And it's like Saw literally like barely has any. Like, what are
Yeah,
you talking
yeah.
about? Um, Eli Roth openly named this as the film that made him want to make Hostel, which is how you get that cameo. The Kiri Kiri scene gets included on Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments at number 11.
Oh damn,
Real high up the list,
amazing,
which,
as
like,
it
very well
should.
deserved, yeah. And I, at this point, get to bring out the trusty old timeout poll of horror creators and critics, which I love getting to bring this in. This film landed at number 18 on the top 100, so very
Wow.
much a horror maker's favorite horror
Mhm.
film. And among some of the other horror filmmakers beyond Eli Roth who've gone on record about their adoration, obviously Quentin Tarantino. Mike
Mhm.
actually directs a film called Suriaki Western Django that Tarantino appears in, has like a cameo
Yep.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
The three
yeah,
of them
very,
have such a little love affair going on.
I know. And I'm like, I really only care about one of these people, and
Yeah.
it's Takashi Miike. But also
As one
John
should.
Landis of American Werewolf in London, the Soska
Mm.
sisters, and Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie loves this film, says it's one of the
Yeah.
scariest he's ever watched, which
Yeah.
I agree. Also gets referenced kind of obliquely in a Olivia Rodrigo music video and in the comic Stray Dogs. So just a
Oh,
couple little shout outs.
funny.
Do you
Huh.
recognize the Olivia
No,
video?
but I think she also has she has like a song title that popped up when I was searching the Grudge that's called like Grudge or something like
Oh my god, of course
that.
she
That was
does.
funny.
I
So
think
it's
she's a
just
horror
weird
girly.
that you said that because I was like, wait a second, she like popped up in my
That's so funny.
research for some
Olivia
reason.
Rodrigo is haunting the podcast.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny.
Um, and in January 2025, it was announced that Focus Features of all companies is producing a remake, which is supposed to be
Mm.
directed by Christian Tafdrup, who did Speak No Evil. No news on it since
Oh,
January 25, but it's listed as
interesting.
being in pre-production right now, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't want it.
How do
I don't want
you
it.
do that?
Why? Yeah,
Also,
like
yeah, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine that being made.
yeah, and
Why can't
especially
Hollywood just
like
make new movies? What is
I
the
know, I
IP like just like dog pile that we have going on right now is killing me.
I do not want a remake of Audition. We have Audition at home. Come on.
It's like remaking like you said, it's like remaking The Shining or like any cloud. Like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna do that?
You have to do like
remake
a
Misery?
Luca
What?
Guadagnino Suspiria take where you make it a completely different
Yes.
movie. And in that case, like,
Yes.
not everybody has that in them, first of
Yeah.
all. And secondly, not every story has that in it.
Mhm.
But if it's any consolation, this is not the first time that an English language remake was announced but not made. There was actually going to be one in 2014, directed by Richard Gray, who was supposed to shoot it right after making Sugar Mountain with Jason Momoa. But I think that Sugar Mountain was seen by like 3 people, and then that project never happened. So
Bless Jason Momoa, but he's not great at acting.
no,
in anything. He's not in films. You know what I mean?
know
He's
this
in like
is
movies that Hollywood regurgitates with
yeah.
actor title. Like,
Very much. Like, it's probably unfair of me, but like somebody who's coming from like the Jason Momoa sphere doesn't feel like the right choice to direct a remake
absolutely
of
not.
Takashi Miike's Audition.
Absolutely
Sue
not.
me.
Absolutely not. Sue me too then.
Yeah,
Sue us
exactly.
both.
But because of that, it does make me think like maybe that 2025 announced remake may not happen either. The track record on it has not been great. Okay,
Yeah.
now we get to briefly film criticism rant corner, because it's not like really, I'm not bringing in new theory, I'm bringing in a raging debate,
Ooh.
and quotes from a whole bunch of different sides of this raging debate. I'm sure you can tell what this debate is about. I'm sure you can tell probably where both of us fall. It's about women.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Leave us
And
alone.
and very tellingly, I'm pretty sure every single one of these quotes that I found, they're all from various film critics. Every single one of them is a man.
Oh,
And they're all
God, they
debating
really
whether this
can.
movie is deeply feminist or deeply misogynist, and they're all convinced that it's one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah, no women seem to be commenting on this that I could find. I'm
croissant.
sure somebody has, but they're not the ones that I found while looking in the main papers that you usually go to. So, part of it is like some people read it as a commentary on power imbalances, and that's mainly if you view Aoyama as being so creepy that we understand where Asami's coming from and feel like she's taking revenge against something horrible that's done to her there. I'm also like, she's already had a whole lot of pretty horrible stuff done to her. I don't know that he needs to go that much farther for me to feel like it's like kind of justified, but maybe that's me.
Yeah. No, not just you.
Others, like William Arnold, writing for the Seattle Post, read it as, quote, yet another entry in the ongoing cycle of Japanese horror films that work off a misogynistic fear of where the escalating emancipation of Japanese women may be taking their society. Which, like, listen, I have no background to speak on Japanese culture or the emancipation of Japanese women, but I also question whether Seattle Post's William Arnold has a lot of personal experience with the emancipation of Japanese women either.
Right, exactly.
Like, I don't know that that's yours to talk about, my man. Like, unless you're gonna bring in like citations and sources, I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Post's William Arnold, or wait, no, that's part of a different sentence. Anyway, okay, so Ken Eisner from Variety, meanwhile, kind of chooses both sides of the debate and says, quote, it may be either a harsh critique of possessive love or a gory celebration of outright misogyny, which, like, super helpful there, Ken. I don't agree with either of those takes, first of all. And secondly, like, you're a critic, pick a lane. Tell me what you think the film is doing.
They're so unoriginal.
It's so bad. The best one that I found, I saved for last. This is from Dennis Lim for the LA Times, and he was writing a 10-year anniversary look back on the film, so he also had some time perspective, but he said, quote, it is too simplistic, however, to label Miike's film as feminist or misogynist. What's most surprising about Audition is the complex depiction of the characters, who are both predators and victims, and, even at their worst, largely sympathetic figures. Miike suggests that Asami is, to some degree, a figment of Aoyama's imagination, or, more to the point, a projection of his guilt at having betrayed his late wife and seduced his new girlfriend under false pretenses. I think that comes the closest to my own
Mm,
feelings because I don't think this film is really judging anybody that it's
yeah.
depicting. Like, I think it's not,
Everyone's doing something wrong in this film. That's not what
yeah.
it's
Like,
yeah,
even the teenage son is kind of a dick. Like, there
right?
there are not clear morals in this story, and I really think that it's like, if you want to fit it into that clear of a box, you're always going to be finding a piece of the film that pokes out that doesn't fit it. Um,
Right.
I also, having said all that, find it to be deeply empowering because, as we were talking about, it's like the sheer amount of, like, the scale of shittiness, like,
Mhm.
that piles up and accumulates over time, being a femme, w- living in the world,
Mhm.
um, makes it such that there is a degree of satisfaction in watching this character who has been so shut down and so, like, I don't think we even really see her smile until she's committing violence.
No.
Like,
She doesn't.
when
She's
yeah, she's so closed down, and, like, you see her open up over the course of the film, like,
right?
and I kind of find that charming. Like, it even as horrible as everything she's doing is, even knowing that she's gonna die at the end, there's a little part of me that's like, "Oh, we got a smile out of her." Like,
She felt happy for like one moment, even though she said
yes.
like she has that line too about like I can never feel sadness because that's all I've ever felt.
Exactly, which, like,
Essentially, I'm
oh,
paraphrasing. I know. I was
oh,
like, "Oh my god, that's a great line." But yeah, I also too like the way this film is set up is it's set up to make her feel like even in the like synopsis of like this psycho woman exacts revenge, blah blah
mhm,
blah, and I'm like,
mhm.
that is so just not
That's no,
what this is. And
no.
I kind of like had this switch of like waiting for the moment where I was like not rooting for her, and I was like, where is
It
this
never
moment gonna happen?
happened.
And it doesn't. And then it's
It
just
never
like, yeah, you have this
happened.
moment, and I was like screaming
Yeah.
out of joy watching
Yes.
her do this thing that I was just like, every man in this film needed, like, again, like I said, a good slap or, a
Yes.
foot cut off or a finger or two or a tongue. Honestly, all their tongues should have gone
So
first.
true. We should have lost more tongues along
Men
the
can't
way.
talk to each other. I think that's what we've learned. We should not let men communicate to one another.
Moral
The
of the
tongues
story.
go first. But yeah,
Oh my
it
god.
I mean, even according to like what you've said of Mike and like how he didn't intend this to be horror, like this is such a complex story about human
It
nature and
is.
like how we interact and how it's to put it as like misogynist or feminist
Yeah.
is such like
It's so
I mean
reductive.
yeah, and I also want to say, like, that wasn't even what I was thinking about. That wasn't
No.
my takeaway.
I'm
Like,
thinking
you
about
said that, and I was like, "Oh,
her.
yeah, I guess people would say that," but, like, that wasn't my first thought. It was just, like,
I love that.
so there was so much more to it that, I hate I guess they, like, have to, as critics, boil it down to something, but I do feel like, to your point, a lot of critics don't they're just trying to appeal to
Yeah.
a side versus actually critically thinking about
Right.
things, which they're supposed to be
It's
critics,
that's
but
supposed to be your job, and it's also like, again, I am not Japanese. I am speaking from a place of very little background perspective on that side of the
mhm,
equation. But I also feel like if this were an American movie, these critics would not be talking about it in terms of what does this say about the emancipation or oppression of American women. They would be talking about
mhm,
what does this say about the emancipation or oppression of women.
yeah,
And maybe Mike would say otherwise. I didn't find him saying otherwise, but I really don't feel like this film is trying to make a broad sweeping statement about Japanese society. I think it's trying to paint a portrait of two people.
mhm,
And I think it's like a little bit problematic to be like, what does this say about the whole of this
yeah,
country?
right.
Like,
It's these 2 people that have different traumas that they're trying to cope with in
yeah.
very different ways, and they just happen to, like, have this like, they crossed paths at this weird
Mhm.
time, and they both have different, like they're both trying to heal
Yeah, and so
themselves
badly.
with and without each other, you know what I mean?
Yes, which is where
So
that, like, weird perverse romance comes in,
yeah,
right?
it's like they could have worked out
Like,
so well together.
I know.
And also, don't ever be around each other again, you know?
No.
That's what's so great that's what I loved so much about it. It was
Yes.
just, like, it left me just being, like it left me thinking a lot
Mhm.
and, having to digest wrong word to
Yeah.
use probably, a lot, and I it's so smart. It's such a smart
It's so
film.
smart.
For being
And,
a
like,
yeah, for being, like, all of the quotes you've brought in from him, it's just, like, he's such a genius.
he's so brilliant. And, like, the last thing that I'll say in response to this, like, is it feminist or is it
Mhm.
not debate is,
Mhm.
like, it's interesting to me that all of those arguments, and I think this is a problem that I often have with film critics who don't also make movies, because, like, it's like you're gonna look at the art form very differently if you've never been on the other side of it.
Mhm.
And a lot of these seem to be people who don't make movies, but it's like they're thinking very much as they're trying to argue about, like, is this misogynist, is this feminist, in terms of like concrete plot points that you
Mhm.
might as well just be reading the script. None of them bring up how the movie is shot. And, like, let me give you two shots that I think contradict the idea of this being a deeply misogynist movie. Shot one, at the bar when Aoyama and his buddy are talking about the idea of doing an audition to
Mhm.
trick girls into dating him. It is shot over the shoulder of a female background extra from
Mhm.
across the bar.
Yes, I
We
noticed
are
that.
way far away from them, watching from a woman's perspective. And it makes it feel a lot creepier because it's like, imagine if you're hearing this conversation in a bar. We're not intimately cuddled in with them, listening to this, like
Yeah.
scheming with them. It's like they look kind of lame and pathetic. And you're looking at it
Yeah.
from the perspective of, like, if I were a woman in this bar, how would I feel? I'd
Yeah.
be glad that
Yeah.
they're on the other side of the bar from me.
Mhm.
Second
Mhm.
shot, when we're seeing him look over resumes when he's trying to decide who he wants to date,
Yeah.
we're looking quote unquote over the shoulder of the photo of his wife that he then turns away. We're looking at
Yes.
that
Yeah, yeah,
scene
yeah.
from, like, dead wife's perspective, which, like,
Yeah.
is telling us where the story's going to go, but it's also like every place he has an opportunity to, Miike subtly frames shots around the perspectives of women. And I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
that is not, none of the way this movie is shot is accidental, but especially at two really
Oh,
key
yeah,
plot
not at
moments
all.
like that, that is not an accident. That is the work of somebody who is thinking very carefully about, like, yeah, this guy's gonna get tortured, but he's also doing some kind of shitty stuff to the women in his life, isn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes them look like even in that shot too with the woman at the bar, like they're small in
Hmm.
the frame
They're
compared to her.
small.
They look
Yeah.
pathetic in a lot of
They
the
are being
shots. And
framed as insignificant. Yeah.
yeah, there's so many shots. And you said it too, like when they're having one of their conversations, like we don't even see her. It's just we
Hmm.
hear her speaking and we're just staring at him.
Hmm.
So we're like in
Her
her
perspective.
shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so many shots like that in this. And I'm
Hmm.
sure there's so many more as I watch it again. That's
Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
this is the problem with trying to analyze a visual medium by purely, like, story plot points, is like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can tell me what the story says. You can't tell me how he's saying it, and how he's saying it is really important. Okay,
Yeah.
off my film theory rant corner
No,
soapbox.
I'm so with you, and I think it's again, I think I don't know, we need to like every film critic needs to like stop and go through a process of like what does it
Yes.
take to be a film critic? Because I
Hmm.
don't think people I think people are being critical and they're not critiquing. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like I
Agreed.
feel like
Agreed. There's a difference.
there's an art form to it that I feel like has since been lost, but that's a lot of
Mm,
art forms as of, the last few decades, I feel
yeah,
like. So,
very true.
yeah, and it's just more
Uh,
polarizing as we get further down the line
mhm.
is to find intelligent critiques of film or any
Yep.
art is just wild
Yeah.
to read.
But we are here to give you semi-intelligent ones.
Listen, I had like nothing intelligent to say about the Grudge. So I shouldn't.
Disagree.
And we are not a critiquing podcast. We are
That's
just
the
telling you how things are
thing.
made, and sometimes you
Yes.
get our point of view.
Sometimes
So
you get a
for
little
good
film
reason.
theory rant corner with some some
Yeah.
personal feelings at the end of it, but that's not
Mm-hmm.
really what we're here for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
You get the
Anyway,
juicy
but I am
stuff.
very glad that you liked it. That's
Oh my god.
I'm extremely relieved.
Every every second. Every second. It
Yay.
was so great, and the casting was incredible, and I love it all the more because I knew Mike was going to be a really interesting
He's a
director. Just from
delight.
the toe I dipped to talk about him in Hostel was really
Mhm.
interesting, and seeing kind of his interviews were fun. So I expected like
Yes.
something close to this, but he definitely is up there in some of the more fun directors we've covered, and I love
What
his
a
sick sense of humor.
It's so funny. And I'm glad that now you get why I had the reaction I did when you like brought up his name in Hostel, because I didn't know what he looked like before that, and why I was like so excited, like
Yeah,
Takashi
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Miike's
You're
in
like,
this
yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah.
like
You're like, where was he?
yeah, like
Yeah.
now with
Oh
Audition
yeah.
in your back pocket, yeah,
And he's influenced, like, Eli Roth,
all the
Rob Zombie,
greats,
like people that
yeah,
have formed my horror, and it's just like he's just been there.
mhm,
He's been there the whole time. He's been there
mhm,
the whole time. So he is now. I know, and I want to dive deep because he's
yes.
my artist's favorite artist. It's that
I
kind of thing.
love
So
that.
it's
Yeah,
very
he's the
very fun.
chaperone of the horror
Yeah.
world. Oh my god. I think
That
he'd
was from
love
her?
that,
Was that
honestly.
her
Yeah.
that said that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is so funny
So
because now she's so mainstream that like that doesn't even work
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
But
yeah, no. So, yeah, I am delighted to say the least,
yay.
and also
Ugh.
horrified. I can put that on probably my number one sickest moments of horror that I've ever witnessed. So hard
Yeah.
pressed to beat that one.
Mhm.
Hard pressed, and I'm
It's
very excited to see if that can happen in my lifetime to be disgusted as much as I was during that because. Woof, Siena, I had like tears streaming down my eyes because I was
yep.
gagging so bad.
Yep. Even just thinking about it now, I'm like, I gotta change
It
the
was
subject real quick.
yeah, I can't visualize it as much because it actually, like, the only other
Mhm.
thing that made me can I gross you out now?
Please. Yeah, it's
The only other thing that
my
grossed me
comeuppance.
out that bad was, and for those of you who know, I loved Jackass, and one of the
Mhm.
movies featured one of the guys on a treadmill.
Oh no.
They collected the sweat and someone drank it, and I was hard pressed to think
Oh.
that was the top,
Ugh.
and this was they equally made me gag.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
bad.
can't I
That's
had to,
pretty
like, get
bad.
that out really, really fast
Yep.
'cause, like anyways, moving on. Let's talk about next episode 'cause that
Let's
was
talk about
great, and
next episode.
you ruined how we started, and I ruined how we ended,
There you
so
go. So
everyone's welcome.
appropriate.
But next episode, I'm like,
Probably a safer to eat during one, I would guess.
oh my god, wildly so, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing our, like, mommy post like, one day post mommy day, so we're, Mother's
Mommy
Day,
issues.
mother.
Yeah.
Um, and covering two films that were films I saw as like super young, and I both love the original and the remake. So I
I'm
am,
I'm really
yeah.
excited for this, especially like I feel like I went you were very generous in letting me pick the last couple
Hmm.
of pairings, and I'm excited to be in some Al territory cuz I have not seen either of these and both have been on my watch list.
I'm so
And I
intrigued
also
to hear your
and
reactions.
they're like very much in like my like the Siena coded time period of the like
Oh, for
60s and
sure.
70s. So I'm excited to be back in familiar waters after a few more recent films.
Yeah. So you want to say what you're covering first?
Yeah, I'm covering the OG 1960 Village of the Damned, which I've had so many people recommend to me, and I'm really excited to finally get the chance to get around to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And then I'm doing the original 1975 Stepford Wives. And
Yes.
again, I at one point I had seen both of these like dozens of times more than the remakes, and now I don't know, they might
Wow.
be stacked up. So I don't really know much about the making of, especially Village of the Damned. I don't really know a lot
That
on.
one looks
So
fascinating. There's like a
ugh,
lot of research
so
material
good.
out there. So, yeah, it looks
Yeah, for
juicy.
both of these. So I
Mhm.
love both these and the original or the remakes.
Yes.
So I think these are
Yes.
fun. I feel like it's been a minute since we've done something
Older
kind of like
stuff.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you cooked with this pairing for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to do
Yeah.
these. So that's
Ugh.
our next episode, and I'm excited for that. Um, any other housekeeping things while we're
Um
here?
support us if you can. There are links to do so in all of the Huh?
We got Victoriano actually did a donation, so
Oh,
we got a
thank you so
new support.
much, Victoriano.
Yeah, so thank you for
Shout
that.
out to
That was
Victoriano
nice.
Cardenas, who he's a brilliant sci-fi and horror writer. So like,
Ah,
search his name if you want to. He's written some really awesome, creepy short stories, which is how
woohoo.
I first found him. I was like scouting writers for a really old job and like read his work and
Oh, I
was like,
didn't know
we gotta snag this person's brilliant brain.
that. Oh,
So
that's really cool. I didn't know
if y'all
that.
like short form sci-fi, check out
Hell
Supporter
yeah.
Victoriano's work.
I
Yeah.
think everyone listening does. So yeah, thank you for that. We have links in bio to support. It helps us keeping this kind of the bare bones of this alive, the little machines churning, our little hearts beating happily. So thank you to
Yes.
everyone who does financially support as little as like $3 a month. It goes a very long way.
Genuinely
for us
like
to
makes a huge difference.
huge difference. So thank you for doing that, and those that can, link in bio. And then we also have our New Mexico, we're up for New Mexico Entertainment Awards for podcast and podcast hosts. So I did put the link in the link tree. I was a little late to the last one, but it's up there. You have to go through a lot of shit. So if you can't do financially, if you can go through really awfully like programmed voting things, nobody ever makes it easy. So if you could take the time, that's super helpful.
maybe that's the incentive we use to tell people to donate, is if you don't want to go through all those steps, send us $3 instead.
Yeah, it helps pay for all the things that we have to do as we are our own little production. So it's super helpful. We want to keep doing this for you guys because it's fun for us too. So those are housekeeping things. That's kind of all I have.
That's it. Yeah. Thanks y'all for supporting us. I feel like we've also gotten a lot of really good comments lately, and I love seeing your juicy reactions to things.
Yeah.
It's especially like the debate over Suspiria 2018 is delighting me. It's so fun. Keep the hate coming. I thrive in it. Yeah.
I love watching everyone's conversations like amongst each other. You guys are just like really cool, and I like the way everyone communicates to each other. It's very
People
fun.
are being really nice. It's really sweet. Yeah.
It's really
like respectful
fun.
of each other's different opinions, which I feel like you never see on the internet.
Right? I know. I'm hoping, as much as me and you like have strong opinions, I hope we also cultivate like, it's nice to see the other side, or like hear people out even if you don't agree. Because we love Suspiria, and the hate on it, your opinion, but you can be wrong.
It's
respectfully.
I understand where people are coming from. I will say that.
I
may not feel the same, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so it's been fun. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all my blab.
I think that's it. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this next pairing. We'll be back with some mommy issues. Until then, thank you to Travis Fowler, our wonderful momager, for keeping us on track and on time, and for giving his feedback about the Grudge. That was lovely. Do you want to...
Oh, I thought you were just going.
Oh no!
I'm like, you're doing great, sweetie.
I'm so used to us switching.
I was like, you're doing great.
Blinked out.
Go, Kylie, go.
I got one. There are no more in my head.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you, Theo Schaefer, for playing us out with your incredible music that we always love.
We love so much. Thank you to all of you for listening. Thank you, Al, for being a wonderful co-host.
Thank you for really carrying this episode.
Audition carried this episode. Takashi Miike did all the work. I did nothing.
I'm glad we got to do Takashis. Thanks to the Takashis of the world that bring us
our Takashi off.
And until
next time, we'll be right back.
You forgot the thanks for listening to Splice Splatter.
No!
We're Classic Horror Meets Modern Gore. We'll be right back. I'm keeping it. We're keeping it in.
Yeah,
we're keeping it in.
Fair. Yeah.
Bye.